Just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. Don't forget the NordVPN Defense Player of the Week will be in the show. Also powered by Aspley Mazda and Lukey, the car man. Give him a follow, LDC_01. And Longtel. Go to longtel.net.au/bloke. Get your discount, the best internet. Not even discount. You can actually get a 7-day free trial. No contracts, no credit card required. It's the best in the biz. Alrighty, let's get straight into it. Let's face a bit of music brought to you by Sportsbet.
Yep, Face Music round number 25. We will be collectively facing music, unfortunately, this weekend, 6 p.m. out at Four Pines Park. We put our collective nuts on the line, I believe, at the start of the season and said if Manly were a mathematical chance of making the 8 at this point in the year.
I didn't say mathematical. Like, I just said make the 8. It was this fucking guy.
It was him that said it. You
No,
literally
you said it
tagged me in
first.
the video. No, he did.
No, fucking he said it first.
No,
Yeah,
I
you said
agreed to it. He fucking said it.
You said
You
it.
said
You need to
first.
watch the clip you tagged me in.
It's him.
He says it, then I just clarify.
You know
Him.
what?
Let's get him,
Let's get it up. Let's see the tape.
so you all have to go-
I'll be accepting apologies.
I
in a
will
moment.
apologise.
Sorry, guys.
I
Sorry
will
to waste your
apologise.
time.
Yeah.
I will apologise.
Deb Kazmar was the first one to jump on when Manly kept
Okay,
their
here we
hopes
go.
alive on the weekend.
In Manly kid, if they make the 8 this year. That's
I reckon if they are
a mathematical chance.
Thank you.
But you were leading.
No,
first.
it doesn't. Didn't
You
say
lost
it.
your
Tough
train of
shit.
thought.
It was him.
No,
It was
you
you.
said ninth first. You did
Fuck.
say ninth first.
So you all have to go.
Ninth
to
doesn't mean they're mathematically a chance, so they could be out already.
No. Oh, come on. So if they're ninth, we still have to go. You said ninth first, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
No.
They were
apology
going to
there.
get the spoon. They were going to be lucky to finish 19th, for
I
fuck's
will
sake.
say there's a fucking loophole here. This was under the conditions of Anthony Seibold as coach. This, to be fair to us, but you know what? When we put our balls on the line, we keep it on the line.
A collective
we don't
ones,
retract
that's right.
the balls. We keep them there.
Exactly. And we haven't been allowed to wiggle out of it. We've had, Ella Kazmar and Deb Kazmar both call us out. They are said they're happy to help us with tickets and things like that. So, unfortunately, we'll be there wearing Manly kit on Friday.
unlucky boys.
Can confirm Timmy Williams will be joining us as well. I haven't spoken to him, but he'll be there. And if he tries
Who's
to
that?
wiggle out of it, you should all peer pressure him online to come along.
But who's that? Him too?
Not Tom.
Not Tom. Okay.
Yeah.
Timmy Williams will also be there.
Nice.
So we'll all be there in Manly. Did I say Manly jersey or colours? Did I say colours? Okay, let's go. Let's do this again.
I think there might have been face paint mentioned as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll just go like that. Okay, here. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
What's in the algo?
It's ready
Okay,
to
here we
go.
go.
Painted up in Manly kid.
Paint it up.
Mitt Kit.
If they make the 8 this year.
Your words, not ours.
I reckon if they are
A mathematical
if
chance.
they're
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. Let's
Mathematical
fucking
chance.
ride. Let's fucking ride on the edge, baby. Let's go right on the edge.
they're a
don't do
mathematical chance going into round 26 to make the top
See,
8.
that's
They're on the hill.
you
Look
clarify.
at you,
that.
crystal
Paint it up,
clearing
Manly.
everything.
I said Manly Kit. Far out, bro.
Do you need some Manly kit?
Your fault.
But Manly Kit could be anything, actually, when you think about it.
No,
I didn't
you're
say
wearing
jersey.
a Seagulls
Manly
jersey.
Kit could be a shirt from Manly.
If I'm going to Brookvale on a Friday fucking night, you're wearing a jersey.
We will arrive at Manly for the Dragons and like a poo slinger if I've ever seen it. My God. And yeah, like, look, that's just, obviously there's going to be some banter, but let's keep it not physical, guys, all right? Let's just relax. No throwing shit. Just enjoy it.
As Justin Langer said, there's abuse and there's banter.
Yes.
So,
Boom. There you go. And I don't know if Justin Lang is the guy to draw that line. I'm being tried on.
yeah, neither do I. But,
The Madge of cricket.
he did say it. All right, so not looking forward to it, but that'll be happening this Friday. See you there.
God, bro.
Looking forward to it. All right, face the music.
bro.
Round number 25.
Are we getting the ferry over together? What are we
Okay,
doing?
let's just fucking let's pump the brakes on all the stuff we're adding on here. We're gonna be there. We're arriving at a Manly versus Dragons game. We can agree to that. Now, in regards to the details, let's do that off air so that we have 60,000 people saying this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
That fair? No. What is
Are we on the hill?
Well, again,
Are you
you're
going to
getting
sort out some
details there.
corpies for the boys?
No, I'm not. I don't have those kind of connections. This guy does. He's a
Clinton
turncoat.
Corpies.
No, you guys have fun out there.
No, I think it has to be out with the people. I think it
think
has to be
so,
out with the people.
yeah.
But as I said, the people, they'll have a few drinks under their belt. They might get a bit fucking rowdy. So let's just keep it calm, all right?
Yeah,
Got kids to go back home to.
well said.
I don't. Let's get rowdy. Let's have fun.
As long as I don't end up in that Macca's at 1:30 a.m. with you again like last time.
I'll be going to the famous spot of Seabold meditating.
Storm 14 defeated by the Panthers 22. Rue was the only one sharp enough to collect any points here. Didn't he let us know about it? Clipped up his little clip from Face Music, stuck it in the group chat. He took the Storm plus 8.5. Nailed it.
Yeah, sorry to ruin that game for you on a Monday, boys.
What, what was it, $1.90?
Yep.
Fucking
Still
look out.
winning out in front.
Jesus
$1.90.
Christ.
Well done.
Carrying on about $1.90 should be illegal.
There's more to come, don't worry.
Yeah. And Pot, I'd like you to meet Kettle in about 3 games time. Raiders 30 defeated by the Broncos 34. Unfortunately, the Raiders refed out of the game, ruined a great occasion. Josh Papaletti's last game. No sense of occasion from the irrelevant in 2026 Brisbane Broncos. Kempy's pathetic support for his team. He took him plus 7.5 against the 12th place Raiders.
That's fucking punting right there. You know, everyone's tipping us for the spoon. I'll fucking back the boys.
Guru, you got a bit of go about you, Guru. You took him 1 to 12 for $3.90.
Thank you.
Fuck off.
Well done, Guru. That's why you're out in front. Dolphins 34 defeat the Eels 16. Den and Matty and myself, we took the Finns to cover the 13.5 leg in the air sort of stuff. Well done to us. We're then on to Super Saturday. Knights, talk about no sense of occasion. On Old Boys Day, 24 defeated by Manly 44. Very, very disappointing stuff for them. This one cost all of us dearly. So we've obviously now got to go to Manly. So thanks for that one, Manly Seagulls. Guru, you had Manly plus 8.5 points. Only one to collect any points
Great betting.
from that game.
Would have gone Newcastle 13 plus if you let me, but I'll take it.
Souths, 26 defeated by the Warriors 45. Kempy, you took the Wires head-to-head for $1.54.
Fucking good punting. That's bloody good punting.
Rue
Sharp.
and Tommy took him to cover the 3.5 because I got a bit of go about me. I took him 13 plus for $3.10.
Nice.
That's how you do
Yeah,
it.
bro.
Dragons 14 defeated by Dogs 44. Unfortunately, Dragons. Well, thankfully for the West Tigers, now we can't get the spoon anymore. Mathematically, it's out of the question. Kempy,
But
the only one.
spiritually, you get the spoon.
No, we don't. Just beat the top
The
of the
spiritual spoon.
Just beat the top of the table.
Like
team.
where everyone agrees, like, you were the shittest team.
Just beat the top of the table team. 25-24,
Spiritual spoon is mad.
which we'll get to soon.
The people spoon.
It's a people spoon.
Broncos
That's the NRL spoon. It's a people spoon.
Broncos get the moral spoon. this year as well.
Spiritual spoon.
Moral spoon. The moral spoon.
The only points out of that, Kempy, Dogs, $1.47 head-to-head. Brave. Stunning and brave.
Fucking go.
That is so
Stunning
shit.
and brave. Titans 22, defeated by the Sharks 30. Another stunning and brave bet here from Kempy. Took the Sharks head-to-head, $1.47.
Just stacking them up, baby.
I had the Sharks minus 6.5 because I get it. Then we are on to the biggest game of the year. A lot of people calling it Chooks 24, embarrassed by the Tigers 25. No points for anyone, unfortunately. I got a little bit too greedy and took the Tigers 13 plus,
What an idiot.
which was
What an idiot.
I think when we got involved, Tigers head to head was $5.80, 13 plus was $19. When they jumped, $10.50 and $41 with those prices. Well done if you took them head to head.
Did you have them 13 plus as well?
I did.
What was that? What was that paying at the time?
19 at the time.
What by the time it got to kickoff, it would have been like
41.
wow.
It was
Looking
good
all
for a
right at
while.
one point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had it not been for the wayward goal kicking of Jock from the block, could well have been.
Oh,
13
jeez, far out. You just won you the
far
game.
out.
No, he
You
won us the
fucking
game
into
later,
him.
but
He's
I
got
just-
one nut, dude.
Jesus, did it with a nut.
And how? All right, so round 25 results. Guru, $9.60. Denon, $8.25. Myself, $6.90. Tommy and Maddie, $1.90. Overall, Guru, $199.49. Myself, $187.82. Maddie, $159.98. Daylight, Denon, $123.46. And Timmy/Tommy, $104.69. Bearing in mind, they did miss 8 weeks of face-to-face.
Coming
What,
on.
what am I on? 199.
0.49.
Raising the bat, double century.
Oh,
Has that ever been done before?
Jason Gillespie at Chittagong, I think, did it.
Has that been done before? 200?
I'll have to go back and check the tape. I think we did the Clips 200 last year. Yeah.
Some good punting.
Yeah.
Good stuff. That is
Well, there you
Face
go.
of Music. Round
That's Face
25.
Music. We'll get our tips in later this in the show, so stay tuned for that. Alrighty, and a massive thank you as always to Sportsbet. If you aren't following them on Instagram, give them a follow. We have skits pretty much nearly weekly
Oh, yeah,
now.
absolutely.
So give them a
Especially
follow.
at the expense of the Broncos, so that'll be good.
Okay, well, right, yeah, spiritual spoon. Okay, time for the team of the week. Proudly brought to you by Longtel. You guys know I love Longtel. I told you a couple of weeks ago. I actually was for a long time. I was promoting them just because I love them, purely for free because it is the best internet in all the land. You will, when I say you will not regret signing up to Longtel, I promise you won't. Had multiple people message me, shocked at how good their customer service is. Longtel.net.au/bloke. Just give them a call. You'll be shocked at how quickly they get it done. Okay, it's time for the team of the week. and it is as follows. At fullback, Tuapiki, just edges out Hayes Perham. On the wings, it's To'o and Katoa from the Sharks. In the centres, it's Herbie and Felady from the Manly Seagulls. At 6, it's Falalau from Manly. It's Galvin at 7. Payne Haas at 8. Owen Paddy just edges out Walters for 9. At 10, Bolle. At 11, Samuel Afenu. At 12, the Dolphins rookie that I told everyone about long before everyone knew is Ponyu on the edge there at number 12. At 13, Iromaya Tuova. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Absolutely incredible off the bench there for the Warriors, pretty sure. Walters at 14. Preston from the Dogs at 15. Hayes Perham 16. And Adam Fanua-Blake at 17. That's the Lontel Team of the Week. All right, it's time now for the Code Sports Story of the Week. Don't forget to go codesports.com.au/bloke to get your discount for the year. Mate, what's the story this week?
We have to go 007, finally announced, boys, this morning, broken exclusively on Code Sports. Joey Manu, the newest chief. Rumours going around for the last couple of months that he was signing over there, but it took a long time to get his signature. He went over a couple of months ago, toured the facilities, looked at everything over there, but late last night, Joey Manu put pen to paper finally. He is Chiefs 007, and there's a bit of conjecture around that as well, whether they would hold the 007 number for a potential halfback. The name Nathan Cleary, the name Sam Walker have been thrown up, but they've chosen to go with Joey Manu. From my understanding around the club, a very significant signing. They're very happy that he's that special number. They've put a lot of emphasis around, and yeah, I think it's a pretty good signing for them.
I reckon in regards to that 007, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a total rewriting of what they were planning for the 007, because why would you have that up on the stair? And Joey Manu's a great signing, but with some of these other guys you've gotten that are currently in the game that are huge signings, why would you leave that for specifically Joey Manu? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I don't know if they left it specifically for
They put it up
Joey.
on the stair when it was when they didn't they? You're all about that. You're all about that.
006 and then 007.
Yeah, it had reserved on it for a long time.
For a long time, yeah. So like as if it was a plan that would be the number 7. Well,
I mean,
at least that's the implication.
yeah, that's how we've taken it. Yeah.
But do you reckon from the get-go they were like, Joey Manu's our 007?
I don't know. If maybe they just had a plan to get attention on. I think they're just trying to get eyeballs on however they're doing it.
Yeah, I reckon they succeeded from that point of view because they know that the big talk, it's Walker and Cleary, the two everyone's talking about. But yeah, it is a bit left field. I will give you that, but it's got everyone talking.
Yeah, I think initially I agree with you. I think it would have been let's get our halfback.
Yeah, I reckon
100%. But I think the fallback to that is okay. We got people talking about it for X amount of months. Perth are signing players. No one's even looking at them realistically because everyone's so fucking obsessed with our 7th stair. Like they've nailed it realistically.
But I will say, I think it says to me they're a little bit more nervous about who they're going to land at that 7 jersey because I reckon it was initially reserved for a 7.
Well, I mean, with that back line, if they can sign some forwards, might not need a superstar 7 just quite. You've already got Jerome at 5'8". So.
But anyway, in regards to the 00 stuff, it's all done, I guess. But yeah, the signing. I got to be honest, although I like the Joey Manu signing, I think he's a gun. The reported figure is around 700K, 600.
Yeah, it's between 700, 750 from my understanding, and it's a 2-year deal, and he's expected to play in the centres.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, these are good signings, but I actually, people that are like, oh, this is crazy, this is like the Avengers, and I tend to disagree. There are other clubs with pretty freaking good backlines that could go toe-to-toe with this backline. I mean, you got Jerome Law, who at the moment's form isn't great. You've got Johnson, who's a gun, but he's at the back end.
He'll be 33 then,
he's
or 34, whatever.
Then you've got Zach Lomax, gun, fair. And then you've got Joey Manu. And
Brian Toto.
Brian Toto, gun. I'll give you that. So Toto for me right now, still the best winger in the comp. Zach Lomax, yep, I'd say he's one of the best centres in the competition. But yeah, the others, I'm like, they're a little bit older.
Yeah, I mean, you still don't have a halfback. I know people will say Connor Watson will be the 9. I don't think Watson's in the top 15.
Connor Watson, I believe, is there to play 13. Good. That's the position they wanted him for.
Yep.
If things obviously change, then he could shift into 9.
But he's not a top tier 13.
Sweet. So they still need a 7, a 9. They need a fullback, in my opinion. So it sounds like Manu's going to play centres.
Manu in the centres.
Yeah, good. That's what I think it'll be a big mistake to play him at fullback. Personally.
Especially in this new, I know he was a very fit player, but he is a big boy. He's a big boy. And obviously we need that. He needs that ball playing.
I think as well, when he was playing fullback, I think we at times got a little bit sidetracked by the stats and the Supercoach numbers, all that sort of stuff. The team actually wasn't going that well with him at fullback, in my opinion.
Yeah, so like, don't get me wrong, Connor Watson, he's a bloody good signing, but I wouldn't put him in the same tier as like Murray, Yo, those guys. He'd probably just be under. Still good signing. So like when I look at it, don't get me, it's great, but it's not like unbeatable. I'm not in the same boat as a lot of people saying this is like totally the Avengers of
Yeah, and I think the other thing is to it as well, mate. Like the players they've signed are fantastic, but you've got Zach Lomax who hasn't finished his last 2 contracts. You've got Jerome Luai who's hasn't finished his last contract. You've got Joey Manu that's just been overseas. Like you've got these guys that are now on a huge amount of money, living in the same hallways essentially. Like I think that's the other thing that is going to be the real challenge with PNG is as far as team culture and all that sort of stuff goes, it's all good and well to be making all this money, but when you've got families living on top of each other, you've got these guys like Jerome and they, who like they're NRL players and they're superstar NRL players. They're all big egos living together on top of each other. There's a lot of challenges that I don't think money's going to completely take care of.
Yeah, I'm not on board with the idea that they are just going to come in and win the comp 28. I just think that's I think people are getting a bit too caught up in the hype of it all and not actually sitting down and looking at where certain players are in their career. You could argue they still haven't signed their 3 most important positions, which is 7, 9, fullback, and front row. 4 positions.
Yeah,
they still haven't signed that yet, and they've spent. You'd have to say Lomax didn't come for less than 700.
Yeah, I believe the Lomax figure's around 750. So Lomax
And you'd have to say Toto around 800.
Toto's around 650.
650.
Yep.
Like that's a lot of money in your backline. Usually you're spending like minimum on 2 wingers, and then you've got 1 big. And so they've only got, they've spent a lot of money in that backline.
Yeah, they've got Matty Lees who's signed who,
Yep.
I don't know, I was over there in England watching the Ashes last year. Like he didn't.
I think he's a bit
Play the
older as
house
well.
down.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Matty Lees is a little bit older in his career too.
Yeah. I mean, like I remember being over there at the Ashes last year. Like I think if you go and have a look at Matty Lee's numbers from that series, I don't think he ran for over 100 metres in any of the game. I actually walked away from that game going, Morgan Knowles looks to be the better player. And Morgan Knowles has done well in the NRL, but I wouldn't have him in my top 30 middles in the game.
Well, he's getting selected because Wolf likes his style of play, not because he's better than Plath.
No.
Well, it's good to start a game. I think that's the preference with
With his style of play. But so like
But they're
I'm not-
struggling at the start of games as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not sitting here saying they're not going to be good because people are going to conflate the two. All I'm saying is this foregone conclusion that they are going to be great. That it's just I just don't know.
Yeah, this comparisons to like the Miami Heat's teams and all that. Like, I don't think it's anywhere near that personally.
What do you reckon, Amy?
No, they'll be better than that. A good signing for them for sure. But I think they're still going to be a very handy football team. But yeah, there's still a few key ingredients missing. I was setting up for halfback. I think everyone was with the 007 thing. So I'm very interested to see who they get next. There's still some big fish out there that they can go and get. They've assembled pretty well. But I think you're probably right. And you got to remember as well, it's in 2 years' time. So all those guys are going to be 2 years older. All that sort of thing as well. So very handy for the time being. But it's not like an unbeatable, like they've pulled together just an origin team with unlimited cap.
Actually thinking about that, they're nearly all over 30, aren't they?
Yeah.
Manu's 30.
Manu's 30, Luai's 30.
Yep.
Zach is 27, 28, I think.
Yep.
Toto is 28, so by the time he gets there, he'll be 30. So basically everyone that's signed is 30 years old.
Yeah, I mean, you're also with Zach Lomax. If they're playing him at centre, which is what it sounds. Well, if you've signed Toto and AJ, you're playing Lomax at centre, unless you're going to play him at fullback. You're playing him at a position that was pretty consistently proven not to get the best out of him. When Flano moved him to the wing, he all of a sudden became a kangaroo overnight.
Yeah.
And he's not going to be playing that position as well. So they're like, it's a good squad. They've done very well to get the guys they have. I think it's been a huge win from an optics point of view and the way they've done it. They've hit it out of the park. But yeah, there's a lot of things to make work here.
And, you can have the best backline in the world, but if you don't have a good 7, 9, you could even argue 6, but I'll say 7, 9 and forward pack, you're doing nothing. No. You're doing nothing. So there's still a long way to go, but yeah, I agree. They've done a great job. I'm not suggesting that they haven't done a great job, but I've just seen so many comments like, this is crazy, this is bullcrap, and blah, blah, blah.
And all of that is assuming everything off field goes well, which they are going to have more challenges than any team has ever had before.
Yeah. So why did it take so long? Was it third parties? What was it?
Well, yeah. So obviously a lot goes into this deal. I think Joey, when he went over initially, was very happy with how things looked. Everything looked good, but you also got to remember Joey's got a partner that lives in. She's a Sydney resident. They're obviously living overseas at the moment. A lot to sort out with his rugby union deal. Currently in France. Also had to think about next year as well. I don't have news on whether he's going to play at a different club next year. So his rugby season, I think, will finish by about May. And then he's got from May until next year, the year after, until he plays for the Chiefs. So there's a bit of thought going behind that as well, what he's going to do in that time, whether he's on loan to another club or whatnot for a short period. But yeah, obviously third parties as well. Third parties, I believe, were sorted out last week, which then obviously have led to, he signed the contract last night. I got the phone call around 7:30. So yeah, 7:30 he signs the contract, and then they obviously announce it this morning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, good on them. Absolutely. It's getting there's definitely a buzz around PNG. I can't wait to see what they do with the rest of their money and the salary cap. Make sure to go to codesports.com.au/bloke. Get your discount for the year. And I'm sure, have you got more Sacked?
Yeah.
Podcast coming out?
Wednesday, Braith and Asta on Sacked this week. A really good episode. The Marty Tapau one's still up, and a couple more stories with Marty Tapau going up as well. So
Yep.
yeah, it's going quite well.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks, boys.
It's time for the round 22 review. Panthers defeat the Storm 22-14. Four sin bins. Bit of a, I wouldn't say, definitely a weird one because of all the sin bins, but I actually thought the Panthers' defense was phenomenal. Like, I really thought the fact they defended as long as they did with as many sin bins as they had, which was 3, are they hitting their straps compared to the start of the year? No, not necessarily, but like the hardest part of rugby league is defense, and they absolutely still have that. So I'm actually I was pretty happy with where the Panthers were. What about you, Roo?
Yeah, I'm the same. When it was an even playing field, I thought Penrith were pretty dominant, realistically. 4 sim innings in a game is fucking wild. Penrith left with 11 players on the field for a small...
Thoughts on the Liam Martin one? I guess that's the most controversial one.
Yeah, I think it is... I think it's... I was going to say over-refereeing, but it obviously went upstairs. I think it's over-analysing.
Like, it's a dangerous precedent to set that's a sin.
Very dangerous, yes.
like-
if that's the line, it won't be the last time we see 4 sin bins.
Because, like, the thing that with the Liam Martin was, like, how do you know he wasn't just turning to chase? Now, I get it. We all understand he probably wasn't. He probably was stepping inside to stop, to close the gap. But, like, was there enough evidence to definitely say that that's what he was doing? I don't think there was.
I think that's the other thing as well. Like, if that is going to be the precedent, I'm saying to my halves, gamble on it.
Yeah, kick through
You
and
see no
just get
fullback,
clipped.
see what happens.
Yep.
Go.
Yeah, I think Sewer played for it well, sold
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
sold the dream to the ref, and got the result it was after.
Yeah, so that was a tough one. You could tell Ivan was filthy in the post match press conference. He kind of got asked a question and he responded like what after the first half, and it got awkward. But I don't think people realised what he was implying was like, because the journo asked him something like, "Oh, how do you think you went in the second half?" or something like that. And so what he was implying, like, we were going really well until we got smashed with sin bins kind of thing. But yeah, in regards to the Panthers' performance, thoughts on it, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too concerned. I think I think you walk away with the first 30 minutes and knowing that when Penrith had all their players on the park, they were flying. I think the other big positive here is that Penrith have been, you've obviously got the left winger, Tom Jenkins, he's been leading try scorer this year, doing incredible things down the left-hand side. They sort of shifted their attack in this game to the right-hand side, which I think was good coaching, obviously, trying to pepper that edge of Cam Munster for the Melbourne Storm. So, once again, just reminding us they can do it on both edges. Still got a couple of players to return and whatnot for finals. So, as much as the score, 22-14, was tight, if I'm a Panthers fan, I think there's a lot more to take out of this game than there has been the last 3 weeks for Penrith anyway, without a doubt.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Tommy, thoughts?
I thought they scrambled really well, definitely, especially on their goal line. And at the end there, like I know Harry Grant had that close no try, but to not concede points there at the end, like there was quite a period of time, a man down after Liam Martin went to the sin bin where they were really getting put under pressure and they really held their nerve there. So I think that's really positive. And then when you factor in that they've got a lot of big game experience sort of amongst the squad, but then obviously if they do get Yo back to come back in as well, Kenny, like, I think, yeah, you wouldn't be worried as a Panthers fan, but there are, like, I thought Tungo, that like the Storm did a really good job of getting at him, and they made a few line breaks through him. same as Cogger on the other side. So I think there are a few things there that they're going to have to look at. But despite letting in a few line breaks when it came to holding their nerve on the goal line, they did. So, yeah.
Hammy, who do they go 6? So Cogger looking like 3 to 4 weeks. First of all, do we agree with the 3 to 4 weeks? Me personally, I agree with it. He's already been done for twice in the last 12 months for head highs. He came out of the line, direct contact to the head. I think it's like a clear-cut case of like what we can't afford to have in the game. And I get it. You'll be screaming, "Oh, that's soft, that's soft." Listen, I came through an era where you just got up and played the ball. So like, if I'm saying I want the game to get rid of it, I think most people of my generation that played want to, because if we don't get rid of it, it's going to be a massive problem for the game in the long. All you got to do is look across the AFL, what's going on over there at the moment in regards to the head knocks. I think it's absolutely. I'm happy with 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think as well, even if you do think it's soft or whatever, like you got the prize there, which I think builds too much of a strong argument anyway.
Yep. What about yourself, mate? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was actually more than fair. I think if it had been 5 or 6 weeks, like given he's got form, like it wouldn't have been out of the question. So like I'd be shocked if they were to afford it. Like I think he just has to take his medicine. In terms of what they do in that position, I still lean more towards put your best defender there. Like just play, if it's Lindsay for the time being playing as one of your ball players and then Nathan playing both sides, I reckon it's worth just having it like your best defender. Just defend at 3 there.
Did you think it was 3 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, I think happy with it. And yeah, again, given that he's got a little bit of form there, fair enough. I feel like Blaze will probably just come back in, to be honest with you. And they identified they had a bit of a problem there they needed to fix, particularly defensively. However, maybe the fact that he's been out of the side for a couple of weeks might, I don't know, just give him a little bit of light a bit of a fire under him. Wait and see. But I just feel like, changing too many things, this time of the year probably doesn't help their cause. So they found a way to kind of grind that one out. But I just feel like, he'd had a lot of time in the start of this year. Yeah, okay, towards the end, it was getting a little bit hairy, but it might just be the wake-up call that he needs, having a few weeks out of the side.
I mean, yeah, the big question will be if, Blaze does come back in and he does well, what do you do in 3 or 4 weeks, Tom? Your finals week 2 by that point?
It's honestly, and it's going to sound insane, but it actually is like the last person you'd want to lose for 3 to 4 weeks. Because with Cleary, let's say you lost Cleary for 3 weeks. Yeah, he comes straight back in, no question. Whereas like, because you're losing Cogger, it's like, does he come straight back in? I don't know. Like maybe.
Well, the other thing is as well, like let's say he gets 4 weeks, that would be round 26, 27, first week. If they win that prelim, it'd be he's available for the grand final if he gets 4 weeks, assuming they win that first week.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they don't win that first week, he's available for a prelim. You got 2 weeks left. You've spent the last month with Blaze.
If it's Blaze, I actually think I would look. The thing with Blaze is we know what we're going to get. Like I don't think he's going to improve as much as we would hope. There might be a little bit of improvement. I would actually try maybe a week or 2 with just the best defensive player there, and that might be either an edge back rower. That might be Freddie Lussick when Mitch Kenny comes back.
Could it be Lussick?
Yeah, and so and just give it a try. Like no, I know Lussick's put a bit of muscle on because he's playing 9, but I think if Lussick's sitting there and he's good enough laterally, I don't see that being a spot. Like I don't think you'd be a edge back rower keen as anything to run unders line on that. Like you'd still want to do it, but much different to say Blaze Salungi. I just think it might be worth a try because Blaze has played enough footy where in 2 weeks' time, if you bring him back in, he can just slot straight back in. He can slot straight back in. So I don't know if I'd give it a try. And it's not a knock on Blaze. It's actually more Blaze just hasn't had an opportunity to work on things in reserve grade. Like he's either 18th, 19th man, or someone gets injured or whatever. And so it's more because we know what Blaze is going to offer. They're still going to have the best defense in the comp, but he might leak a try or 2. I'll just give it a try maybe,
Who else could you go with there? Like, could you go with a Billy Scott there? Could you go
Sorensen maybe?
Yeah, him. You could go Sorensen. You could go like a Garner, like one of those guys.
Yeah, Garner.
I reckon you lean more towards a back rower because even just looking at the stats, like Lindsay made 53 tackles. If you're wanting him to play that main link role like Yo does, like that's a lot of tackles. And no one else in their forward pack got even close to him. Like you got Liam Henry made 32. Lussick obviously at 9 made 37. Like 53 is heaps. So I reckon if you've got a back rower there, just having an extra forward on the field who, one, like you're less likely to try and spot someone up there. Like I know you could try and beat them laterally or whatever, but having an extra guy out there who can sort of, I guess, bear that load for the forwards is probably your best bet. And that way you're not going to deal with as much of a problem. Who do you bring back in, or do you keep Blaze? Like we saw Ivan, was it 2 weeks ago, had Blaze on the bench, put him out there for a bit of spark late. Like I think Blaze is going to be involved in that sort of capacity at the very least if they don't just put him back in. But I think having the back rower there to start, or whoever your best defender is, if it's Lussick or if it was a Phillips or a Scott, I think doing it that way just means that you're going to have the option to do both. You know what I mean? You can always throw him out there if you need.
Yeah, and you'd essentially just have Nath playing halfback, and you would just give Edwards an edge, right?
Or you just get Nathan. Yeah, you get Nathan to swing both sides, and Edwards swings more both sides, and you get Lindsay Smith whilst. Yeah, look, the thing with Yo is like we're just expecting he'll come back, but the more I hear about it, the more it's like there's a chance he like comes back and can barely play.
Yeah, he's trying to get back.
Yeah. It's not like, oh no, he's the recovery time was 4 weeks and he's good to go. But for me, it would be more of a trial though. I wouldn't be locked into it just because like at the end of the day, like with Blaze in that side, they're still a premiership threat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like you put Blaze in that side and all of a sudden they're bad. It just teams tend to spot that up a little bit. So like if you're going into a final series with Blaze at 6, that's not that bad. Like at all.
No.
It's still a premiership heavyweight kind of thing. So I would just be testing it. I'd be testing it. I saw a lot of people in the comments section. They are definitely keen on Blaze coming back in. Look, if they do go Blaze, I don't mind. I don't mind. As I said, they were still the best defensive team in the comp with him at 6 the whole year. So it's just like, look, he has a little bit of a weakness at the moment. Like every player has a bit of weakness at the times.
Yeah, a lot of the tries they've led in the last few weeks have been through that corridor anyway too, which I think it works in Blaze's favour. Like it's not like he was taken out and then all of a sudden it was like all our problems are fixed. Like, but Cherry Evans scored both his tries there last week. There's a couple of tries Melbourne scored. Like Wishart went straight through Papali'i in Cogger as well. Like,
Papali'i has actually he struggled a little bit defensively recently, and I do feel like some of the blame that gets put on Blaze, it actually probably should land on Papali'i. Not all of it at all, and I understand why they need Blaze to work on defense, but Papali'i sometimes can be poor in defense, and so. That's also another interesting situation they find themselves in. Do they keep Papali'i there? I'd assume they will, but he was so good. They actually moved him. Didn't they move him to the middle towards the back end of last year? In the
yeah, he's played a fair bit in the middle, yeah.
Yeah. But I guess we'll see. In regards to some of the other performance, Brian Toto, just amazing.
Record breaking, yeah.
Yep. He's the second highest try scorer in Panthers history, 220 metres run. Like, for a guy that's not known for scoring tries, to be the second most in history, and he will probably eclipse the most, that's insane, bro.
Crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
Just like, he is so well-rounded that the only reason people talk about him under the high ball is just because of how tall he is, but also just because there's nowhere else. Like, where else can you nitpick in his game? Incredible defender, incredible coming to his own end, incredible finisher, just so well-rounded.
Yeah, and it's, the only thing you can sort of talk to me about is his height, if you want to. And we've seen that executed less than a handful of occasions.
Yeah, honestly,
5 or 6 years.
There's one, and it was in Origin, and it was
Jojo Fafita, who's known for being in the air, yeah.
And it was also, they had just made a line break. Like, that's the only thing I can remember him getting out jumped.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you get out jumped once, maybe twice in a 5-year period. You're a winger.
Yeah. Nwangani Tuwase has been out jumped before.
But also his height means, like, I reckon you'd be able to find stats where he gets bombed probably way more than most people because you're trying to target the fact that he's shorter. So it makes it even more incredible, to be honest.
Yep. Who stood out for you, Hammy?
Yeah, well, I think especially in the first half, they just really blitzed him, like put the foot down, and obviously Toto, you've just touched on there, his hat trick. I really liked his Spider-Man celebrations as well. Spider-Man marketing team and all the team at Marvel there would have been right. Well, I don't know if he's got to deal with them, but if not, good on him for getting that done as well. But he was really good. Outside of him, Lindsay Smith, I think, has been pretty good. Again, kind of a little bit of a new role for him, kind of filling in with Yo. I thought he was handy, again, serviceable.
What about that left to right cutout pass he threw?
Yeah.
Far out, bro.
Hill.
Unbelievable.
It's like they're pretty lucky that they've got, he's obviously not as good as Yo, but like someone who can, because their whole style is really built around that, having someone in that role. So he's done a great job kind of slipping in there. I thought he was strong, but those two guys, and obviously Cleary just, did what he needed to do as well. Very impressive.
Melbourne boys, gutsy again. Like, when the team was even, they got a bit blown off the park, but they're still missing troops. They've got nothing to play for, essentially. I thought they were gutsy. I really did.
Yeah, they were. It's been a long season down there. I think obviously the last home game, farewelling guys, I think they sort of felt like they probably owed it to the Melbourne people. For most sides, missing finals isn't the end of the world, but for Melbourne it is, realistically. I mean, you take out the salary cap drama, I don't think they've missed the finals since the early 2000s, which is unbelievable. And even to be having their last home game and not even to be in contention of making finals is just unheard of down in Melbourne. So thought they were gutsy in this one. As you said, they are missing a host of players. I think I read the other day, mate, I think they've debuted 17 players in the last year, which I think is more than any other club. So
17 players debuting?
Yeah.
That's insane.
And I mean, we'll talk about it throughout the weekend, but mate, I watched Bronson Cherry for the Bulldogs this weekend going, it's going to be a great signing.
Sarko?
Jermaine Sarko. I go, wow. If they can get Kelma Tuolangi down there and get him just 70% of what he could be, wow.
Well, I trust him because of what they did with Katoa,
And on that note, I look at Isako and I look at Bronson Cherry and I'm like, yeah, they need those guys. They don't need Kelma. They've signed Kelma on a 1-year deal as an opportunity. They've got Oren Keeley. They've got Lasardi, who will come back next year. You got Cooper Clark, who's shown he can play on the edge. You got the Angus Hinches of the world, the Preston Cons, these young guys that are ready to step into that role. So I'm excited to see what they can do with Kelma. And I respect Kelma making that decision because he knows I've floated around to 5 clubs.
Yeah.
If I go there and it doesn't work, everyone's going to go, no, miss me. I like that he's gone all in on that. So yeah, Melbourne heading into the future. I'm excited for them. I do think they'll be back to a top 8 side next year. I know they're losing a lot of players, but with all due respect to him, I think the time has come for Nick Meaney to move on. I don't think that's been working for a while there. I think they're going to really miss Tyrant Wishart, but you've seen the young fella debut at halfback the last few weeks. Trent Tolau's played well there. So yeah, I don't know. I think coming out of that game, I didn't expect Melbourne to win it. I expected them to compete in it. Maybe it was the Sin Bins that kept them in that game, but so be it. That's how the game goes.
Yeah. Also, an interesting tactic from them, and the Roosters actually did it as well. Back-to-back games where teams are kicking it out against Panthers. Just going, you know what, stuff it. Let's slow this game down.
We're not going to let you get into a rhythm.
Yeah. We don't want ball in play. This is, it's crazy it's taken us 4 or 5 years to employ that tactic, to be honest. But it might be a little bit of a blueprint to just go, cut that momentum out, get the ball out of play. We almost have conceded defeat that you're fitter than us. I think for a period there, a lot of teams thought, there's almost ego involved of they're not fitter than us. We'll train so hard that we'll be as fit as them. But unfortunately, no one, outside of the Broncos last year, there really hasn't been a team that's been as fit as Panthers. And look what it's done to the Broncos. They're all battered and bruised this year.
Yeah, and there's also the argument that the Broncos caught them after winning 4 in a row.
Exactly, absolutely. And also without, they lost a bunch of stars in that side. And so I found that super interesting for Melbourne Storm kicking it out like that. Before we move on from Melbourne, mate, thoughts on the Melbourne Storm?
Yeah, I thought in terms of the kicking, they did a really good job of that. And I think the last few years, you probably have, you need to be willing to maybe give up 10 or 15 metres off your kick to make sure it goes out. Because Penrith's pendulum over the last few years, in terms of the way they defend at the back, has always been really good. And you've also got guys there like Tyler, obviously the main one, but even Edwards, Alamotti, Tungo's been there, now McLean. Their work out of their own end is so strong that they probably, as long as they keep the ball in play, if you give up metres trying to kick the ball out and you don't, they're still on that roll. So it's quite a risk. But I thought Melbourne did a really good job of that. I thought between Wishy, Grant and Folongo, they did a really good job of getting at Tungo a couple times to get through him and at Cogger on the other side too. And in the end, sure, there were Simbins, but I think they'd be pretty spewing that they gave up such a big lead. They gave Penrith such a big lead early.
And they had a chance. They had them down there for essentially the whole second half. At one point, it was 9 completed sets for Penrith, and it was 22 or something for the Storm. It was 75% of possession or field position the Storm had, and the Panthers were just gutsy. They were super gutsy. Howarth's little move on Tungle was good as well. It's super interesting to see what they do with Howarth as well heading into next year. Reports are that they're keen to move him on. I think that the more I watch him, I go, he's probably a back rower. He probably does seem to me that he would suit that better. But I guess we'll see.
Which also, going out and signing Kelma is an interesting move there as well.
Yep. Just quickly, anything on the
Yeah,
Storm?
very quickly. You kind of touched on him before, but watching that game, if you're a Perth Bears fan and you're out there, I reckon you'd be very happy with what you saw from Tyron Wishart starting in the halves.
Yep.
40-20 to start the second half. Scored a nice try as well. He's done such a good job for the Storm over such a long period of just plugging whatever gap they needed. But to have a full year where he'll probably be the 6. You'd think Toby Sexton probably the 7, but starting in the halves, I'm looking forward to watching that as a neutral. I think that's going to be great.
Obviously, wishing everyone the very best that goes over to Perth, but he's probably the number one for me. I want to see him do well.
Yeah, absolutely. He's
as far as his
so
career
talented.
and just where he's been placed and guys he's been stuck behind the entire time, I really hope that he does well over there.
Okay, it's time for the Broncos defeating the Raiders 34-30. Man, I'm just so proud. I'm so proud of their performance. I thought they were incredible. I think it was a real message to fans. There was so much talk during the week about, this playing group caring about the badge. And, I really feel like this game was a message to fans and, former players as well, that these boys do care about the badge. They do care about the jersey because they delivered. I thought they were outstanding, when you consider the players they had out as well. Their defence on their line for as long a period they did down in Canberra with the Raiders massively up for Papali'i's game. I couldn't be more proud of how the boys handled themselves. And also Paddy Carrigan going 10 in the bin. Just an incredible performance. And, we nearly lost it there in the end. But the boys held strong. I don't know what it is about Canberra that the boys don't like. Benny Hunt hates Canberra. He goes out and plays like bloody Joey Johns down in Canberra. But I was really proud of the boys. Really proud of the boys. Root?
Yeah, I sort of walked away from this as probably more of a village arsehole approach. Like, fuck, where has this been?
Yeah, I know.
I couldn't care less how the Broncos go. Like, last, I couldn't give less shits. But I enjoy watching them play footy. And, they should be a side that are great to watch every single week. The last 8 weeks has just been a tire fire for them. And there is almost part of me that I was watching this game going, fuck, where has this been? I almost found it frustrating to watch, if I'm honest. Did you sign Billy Walters again last week? Did you re-sign him?
Yep.
Huge.
Yeah, thank
Massive.
Christ.
Huge.
What an incredible story of a turnaround. And he's actually our service of the week brought to you by Ashley Mazda and Luke Camilleri. LDC_01. They've got heaps of sales guys going. So if you need a car, contact Lukey, LDC_01. He's the best in the business. You will not regret it. I bought my 2 cars off them. I've still got them. I love them. They're the best. And give them a follow. LDC_01 and Aspley Mazda. But it's Billy Walters and his service to the club. As you were kind of just alluding to, honestly, and you would have seen this too, 2 or 3 years ago, you couldn't find a Broncos comment section that wasn't having a crack at Billy Walters. I promise you that. It was all about he's only there because his old man's there. What's he doing in the squad? He's this, he's that. Now, you can't find a Broncos comment section that isn't praising Billy Walters. So I just want to give him his due because, most players, and also Madge as well, like most player and coach in that situation that they found themselves in under Kevy Walters, the player would have said, nah, stuff that. My old man's just got rissoled after making a grand final last year. And the coach would have said, listen, I don't want that hangover. I don't even want the potential of this going. But both parties said, nah. Let's put the club first, put our heads down and work our asses off. And honestly, there's a chance he might be captain of the club next year.
I think as far as Billy Walters goes, I think if you spoke to most NRL fans or just your generic NRL fan, and you asked them to place Billy Walters in the top hooker, 5'8" halfbacks of the game, I don't reckon many people would have him in the top 20 of any of them. I could find you at least a handful of guys in this competition in each of those positions that I'd feel more confident having Billy Walters there week to week, without a doubt. He is such a good player. He's obviously, at the age he's at, he's been through a lot. Like I still remember watching him playing 5'8" in reserve grade for the Tigers. That must have been 7 or 8 years ago now. He can play many positions. He has a huge impact on whatever position he's playing with the side. He has a huge impact, and it's becoming a pretty consistent thing. I also think with him, when you go back and you look at that grand final they won last year, and I probably didn't take it in as much as I should have at the time, but Adam Reynolds calling him up on stage to lift the trophy with him, that is such a huge moment. Huge moment.
For a guy that, as you said, was in Rezzies for a team that was winning spoons.
I'm sorry. I assumed when Kevin Walters left, I was like, oh, okay, Billy will leave. That'll be a good signing for someone. He stays, and then he is being called on stage. I'm racking my brain for other guys that's happened to, and it's sort of been reserved for your Steve Prices and these sort of guys. He wouldn't have even been in the I've got Burmo calling me.
Is
take
he?
This?
Okay. Oh yeah, we'll take it. If I'm on Do Not Disturb, I betcha. Yeah, they've been trying to call.
Guru.
Hey, you're live on Bloke. We were just talking about coming to Brookie on Friday.
Hello Sport as well.
Be careful. Hey, it's your old mates Tom and Eddie here. We just wanted to check whether you losers are actually going to hold up your end of the bet and be on the hill this Saturday or Friday, whatever it is.
Well, first of all, I'm offended that you're even asking, mate. Of course we're going to fucking be there because we're men of our words here over at Bloke. I don't know about you fucking guys. You guys wouldn't turn up. No, there's no way.
Well, listen, we were just waiting to see. We've heard that you guys were already looking for the exit door. You're trying to find excuses. We've been in touch with the club as well, and so we want to try and, maybe facilitate. Do you guys want to get into the sheds after the game?
Look, I didn't think you were this kind, Tom. I like to go out of your way to do this for us. I really do appreciate it. I'm just keen to see what Bazball looks like in the real life. You know what I mean? What does Bazball look like in rugby league form? That's what we're going to view on the weekend.
That's a disgraceful call. Bazball, you guys are the Broncos are dead last. The Dragons. That's Bazball. Bazball is bullshit. We were speaking to some people high up in the game of rugby league the other day, and they said to us, and we've got it on good authority, that the Broncos players are arrogant, and that's why they weren't able to back it up. Go and listen to if any of your listeners want to listen to a podcast, go and check out All Talk. It's a Hello Sport podcast with our good friend Mitch Kenny, where he basically shits all over the Broncos. Says the players aren't about it.
We'll take you up on any invite at Brookvale Oval on Friday night, mate.
Are you guys getting face paint? And what are you going to look like?
We're gonna live up to our end of the bargain. I'll just say that.
Do you have to go shirtless though?
Trust me, even in jest, you don't want to see this rig at the moment.
He's supposed to be wearing these Cowboys arseless chaps until the end of the season as well. So we'll have to have a bit of a chat about what that looks like.
Damn it, mate. You've got to be better than this. You're in the content game, son. Get the belly out at Manly, right? Get on the hill, paint the face. And Tom and I will be sitting up in the box laughing at you.
You know what? That does sound like you guys. You aren't a part of the people down there. You aren't mixing with the people. You're up in corporate suites these days.
Well, no. Listen, we've got to do a bit of both. You'll be standing underneath the Good Day sign, I assume, and then we'll come over and rub your bellies for good luck.
Oh fuck! All right, boys. We'll
Mathematical chance. Mathematical chance.
Oh, please.
The Broncos.
Bazball. Yeah, I've got my phone on Do Not Disturb, and so I missed the call. That's great stuff. Where
were we?
Yeah, talking about the
Walters
Broncos'
being a goat.
incredible win on the weekend. Actually,
Yeah.
Billy Walters.
Yeah, I just think he is criminally underappreciated. And have you spent much time with him?
I haven't actually. Obviously, I've met him in that. Seems like a lovely bloke. I think last year, because he didn't end up playing the finals or a lot of the finals, people forget that he was one of our best players all year long.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just an incredible journey.
I was at the captain's call at the start of the year. Anyway, he showed up there, and where I was there, I just happened to be there when Billy arrived. I said, "Hey mate, how are you?" He goes, "Well, I'm injured. The boys are on a business flight to England right now, and Payne Haas just said he's going somewhere else, and I'm the one they're asking questions to." I don't know what to fucking say. He's like, "This is the worst short ball of all time."
Oh, that's good stuff, mate. What did you think of this game?
Yeah, I thought the Broncos actually showed a lot of fight, especially at the end there, like that tackle on Savage to hold on at the end, and thought it was really nice that you compared Ben Hunt to a New South Welshman, not a famous Queenslander. Earlier on as well.
Listen,
that was really sweet.
As a Queenslander, we're all fair. We can appreciate talent when we see it, and you guys haven't had a Joey since then, so that's probably why.
But yeah, to steal my term back from you, I thought there was a few green shoots in this game. Thought Hayes Perham looked great. Obviously, Willison, he carried really well, especially early on, and then he had a couple of really good carries, and then they got their first chance attacking the line, and he was one that came out with the error. But then obviously had a hand in the next try. So I thought he was really solid. You already mentioned Billy Walters. I think that's great. I didn't actually realize he'd re-signed already. I think that's huge. I know there's question marks still for some people around his age, but I think you couldn't have watched him come back from injury and not be like, we need this guy here next year, especially if he's going to be the guy that you're going to put forward as your captain of the club next year. Do you think they're going to go him instead of Carrigan?
Well, it's weird. Like the fact that this is even like it was a foregone conclusion that Paddy Carrigan was going to be the captain. Like that was it. It was locked in. It suggests to me that if that is the case, then I don't see Paddy Carrigan sitting around and waiting at that club. Like I just think that if you're not giving a captaincy, it's almost telling him that we don't think you're the player who you think you are, because you see him in all the Origin camps and that before games. He's in the middle doing these ones. Like honestly, he'd be close to being captain of the state, let alone. But yeah, I mean, thoughts, Rui?
I think Billy could be your 7, 6, or 9 round one next year, and none would shock me.
Yeah.
And he could be the best of all of them, realistically.
If he's 7 or 6, are you assuming what Pakes is 9, or do you reckon they go like a?
I assume
Moser or
so, but
something?
it's.
See, I
I think it's the only certainty that he's going to be one of them for me.
Yeah.
it's true when you think about it, because like whatever's going with Ezra, I mean, I know Madge has shot that all down, but the whispers are quite loud. In regards
Of
to
course,
him.
he's going to shoot it down though.
Yeah. And then you've got Duffy, you've got Pezzett. Corey Pakes, like I'm a huge fan. I just think we lack a little bit of creativity around the ruck. And as soon as Billy Walters has come back, all of a sudden teams have to worry about our ruck, the ruck recognition.
Yep.
While Corey Pakes is playing, they never have to worry about the ruck. And it's just the style of player is. Doesn't make him a bad player. I think he's perfect for the first 20 minutes. I think that if you get him on there, work his absolute backside off, then you can get him on the bench and keep him as almost like a 14, Corey Pakes. Or even Billy Walters can be the 14. Like, so if there's an injury in the halves, Corey Pakes comes to 9, Billy Walters, you know what I'm saying? I think Corey Pakes should stay to a degree. Like, I want to keep Billy Moser and Cameron Brzezinski or whatever. It's a tough one. So it seems like we're going to lose one of them. I don't know how we keep Corey Pakes, Moser, and Cameron Brzezinski.
Yeah. The other thing from the game the other night, like, be interested to know what you think in terms of, going for him and having played for him. But a lot of the talk this year's been about how tired they've looked, how they haven't shown a lot of fight, blah, blah, blah. When Carrigan got sin-binned, I thought they really lifted and dominated that next 10 minutes.
Got to try, I think.
Yeah. When you factor in, like, Canberra playing Big Papa's last game, for a lot of that first half, it looked like, fuck, they're on one. Like, they've really lifted for him. Like, to show up and win that 10 minutes was pretty huge.
Yeah. And then I think, I know that they've tried to say that there's no whispers coming out, the players are struggling under Madge or whatever. But, mate, when you hear this much, it's like, you hear it from everywhere. I think it was really the players got together and said, we owe it to this badge to play like this. I really do. Because there was a lot of talk from a lot of people in the game saying, what does this jersey actually mean to this playing group? Even Payne Haas got questioned last week. Payne Haas. He's never been questioned in all his life. And he came out and played like we know he can play. And so, yeah, for that's what made it, like, I understand your sentiment of being frustrated, but, like, I'm past that point of, like, I just want to see the boys play with pride in the jersey, and they have. I just thought they really...
And it's also very fair. Like, if they kept playing like shit all year, that would have frustrated me as well.
Yeah.
I'm obviously being very negative on that. I cop that 100%.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, when Payne Haas does score that try, when he has that moment, don't you just sit there and go, how does this guy ever get tackled?
Oh, mate. He just pinned his ears back and said, thanks for coming.
Yeah. Like, an absolute juggernaut when he gets those opportunities, when you just look up and the spacing's wrong, you just go, it's over.
Game over. I thought they were really smart to target Owen Paddy and Sanders quite a bit with Haas. I thought Owen Paddy was super brave. Like, he kept coming back, getting bounced off a few times. Hayes Perham, what do you think of him, mate?
Yeah, look, it was great. To be honest with you, like, obviously Reece Walsh is a huge out for that team, but he was busy. Got his hands on the footy a fair bit, and obviously had the try. But I thought he was great. Didn't look overawed. Really settled into it. Canberra's been a bit of a happy hunting ground for fullbacks for the Broncos over the last few years, and he slotted right in. So I thought he was very impressive as well.
In regards to Karapani at the end there, he was about 10 seconds away from being the biggest villain of all time. When you're literally winding the clock down and they're going for strips and you still get the ball stripped, it was like, are you serious? But then he makes the try-saving tackle, puts his head in the most dangerous position possible. It's super brave, and so I'm happy for him because he's actually... the last month he hasn't been great, but before that he was being our one shining light this year, Karapani. Like, he has continued to work hard, continued to have 1 million hit-ups a game. So I was happy for him that he could have that redemption in such a short amount of time because, like, geez, he would have been a villain if he didn't make that try-saving tackle.
Fuck, he's been a good get for you guys.
Yeah.
Like, he was a prodigy coming through South junior grades and everything. Like, it was just a matter of time till he was going to explode. And I don't quite know what happened at South Sydney. I think quite often you get young guys that maybe get a bit ahead of themselves, or the attitude needs a bit of a adjustment or whatever. And sometimes, unfortunately, leaving the club, you got all the wraps on, can be what does that for you. And then other teams take advantage of it. And I think that's the situation with Karapani, because like he didn't move to Brisbane and wake up and turn into a good footballer. He's always been a gun. Just Brisbane have got the best out of him in the last 18 months.
Absolutely. So look, great stuff from Broncos. Super proud. I just it's going to be an interesting off season. Super interesting off season with the Raiders. Look, rugby league, it's not always fair, but I there's no world in which this playing group didn't care enough. I actually think the young spine in the last 20 minutes, they actually struggled to handle their emotions. I actually thought they cared too much. I know that sounds like a bit of a cop-out, but can you honestly say that this Raiders team was walking out there not caring for what was about to unfold?
Well, Simi Sasangi, his season should be over. He didn't play last week just so he could run out in this game. So I think it's pretty evident Simi's run around with one shoulder despite how dominant he still is. But yeah, I don't think there's any question around this side not caring. And, you know, the way that you just described them, Kempy, yeah, it kind of sounds like a group of 19 and 20-year-olds.
Yeah, and that, like when that ball's coming to them in the moments where they're trying to seal the match, they're thinking, oh my God, this is Papa Lee's. We got to win.
Yeah.
And we saw Strange drop the ball. Starling came on. He struggled a little bit when Paddy was going so well. Sanders could have closed that game out. So, like, I'm not going to sit here and say I looked at the team and said, nah, they didn't care about Papa Lee. What I saw was a team that probably had some young players in key positions that when it was time to close the game out, they struggled.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we sort of spoke about this in our season preview with the Raiders, that the reality is it's a rookie halfback. It's a rookie 5'8". He had a great season last year. He won Dally M 5'8". He's played Origin. Like, he's still played less than 50 NRL games. Weeks the fullback. Like, if you go back to the preseason last year, we're sort of going, oh, you know, Weeks, Chevy Stewart's there, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like he had that spot locked down.
He wasn't even an out-and-out fullback. He was a utility.
Yeah, and like Owen Paddy's obviously played a lot of reserve grade this year, all that sort of stuff. Like, it is, I think because of how successful they were the year before, we do forget just how young these guys are and the reality of young spines in the NRL. Shining light for me, though, Owen Paddy with another 40-20 in this game, an absolute cracker. We warned you on this show about how good this kid's boot is. Here's some stats for you. In the New South Wales Cup this year, Tyson Gamble has kicked 2 40-20s. He's played 11 games. Owen Paddy's played 8. He's kicked 3 40-20s. So he's only played 8 New South Wales Cup games, and he's leading the competition for 40-20s. Now, if you have a look at the NRL competition, Phoenix Crossland is leading the NRL for 40-20s. He's kicked 4 in 22 games. He's equal with Owen Paddy, who has kicked 4 in 14 games. The guys in 3rd and 4th are Daly Cherry Evans and Jamal Fogarty, who have both played 20-plus games each and play 80 minutes every single week. Paddy's averaging like 45 minutes in the NRL this year and has kicked 4 40-20s from 14 games. For a guy to be leading any stat in Cup and first grade in round 20 fucking 5 is unbelievable.
Yeah. He is a fullback's nightmare because, you know, we spoke about it a few weeks ago. Like, I know it's dramatic to say this, but he genuinely may change the 9 role where you're expected to be able to ping 40-20s pretty regularly because it's such a weapon. Because now all of a sudden, as a fullback, I can't afford to be too far across one way or the other. I have to stick on the ruck exactly, pretty much guess where he's going to kick. And then I've also got to worry about the 6 and 7 on either side. So it's a scary prospect what he's going to grow into, Owen Paddy. He is a special talent.
Once again, Cherry Evans and Fogarty, both with enormous boots, all the experience in the world. They've hit 1 less 40-20 in 6 less games.
It's mental. Genuinely
playing
mental.
in the halves where it's easier to kick 40-20s as well.
Absolutely.
Like, just genuinely unbelievable.
Yeah, 100%. And he's getting started. Like, the special thing about this as well is, like, think about how much time a 9 usually actually does have to kick a 40-20, but they just don't because it isn't expected of them. It honestly might, and look, we don't know what's going to happen, but it might be similar to the way, 10 years ago, a winger could get away with not being essentially a front rower coming out of their own end. The position changes, so it's like, no, as a winger these days, you essentially have to run for 150 metres. Yep. I think at the moment, it's looking like if Owen Paddy continues the way he's going, if you're a young 9 that can't kick as well, I think a lot of scouts will say no. We need a 9 that can kick. Whereas like the older generation, there's a lot of 9s even still playing right now that can't kick.
There's heaps that can't. Yeah.
And it's like it'll be an expectation going forward if he continues this kind of trend.
We even have a look at like some of the better hookers that have gone through the last generation. Like Jake Friend couldn't kick.
Yeah.
Made
Yeah.
a whole career, played 300 games or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
A lot of these guys that come through that do not have a kicking game in any way, shape, or form, and Paddy's able to pin 40-20s for fun, essentially. It's insane. Like, if you have a look, Reece Walsh hit the most 40-20s last year, 5. Paddy's already got 4 from 7 less games. The year before that, the most was 4. Like, what he's done in 14 games is unbelievable. Reece Walsh has had the most 40-20s in a season out of everyone in the last 6 years with 5. And Paddy's got 4 in 14 games, playing 45 minutes.
And I swear Reece Walsh's came probably in the last.
They 100% will, yeah.
Oh, what do you think of the Raiders, mate?
I think you nailed it with the caring too much. Can be like that strange drop ball actually really stood out to me. But then I think the other thing that sort of speaks to that point was Matty Nicholson getting that strip. You know, like you could definitely look at it and be like Karapani getting it stripped off you. Like, what are you doing? But I think it showed the desperation for the Raiders. And the reality is, like, yes, they didn't ice the game and they gave up a pretty big lead, but they were also a savage foot on the sideline away from stealing that game back at the same time. So I think there's a lot to love from them. Like even you mentioned Sasangi on one shot, like to come up with 2 identical tries for Kyle Weeks there, exact same offload, like one arm was incredible. The one thing like that stood out to me that I guess is different to everything we've already spoken about though is Corey's ball playing for them and their attack is so big. Obviously he's been confirmed in the last few days that he's going to Perth. Like I think he is going to leave quite a big hole there. Like when
They're losing, I think, 4 front rowers.
yeah,
Yep.
So they're losing Corey Horsburgh, Papali'i,
Yep.
Smithies, and there's one other. Far out.
But on top of that as well, you got to remember they lost Trey Mooney and Pasami Solo as well.
Yes.
Both doing good things for Newcastle. So
It's like the first time I'm sitting there going, I don't know who's definitely next up in the middle there.
but especially to play that role. Like I know they bring Dane Laurie on to play a bit like a ball playing 13 off the bench, but like, are you expecting him to step in and do it? Like it's gonna be interesting to watch their front row next year. They've spent this year nailing the development of their spine and their young outside backs. Probably gonna be a new challenge this off season.
you
He's done
reckon-
it before.
Do you reckon they look at the Trey Mooney and go, fuck, we got that one wrong? And I'm talking hindsight here, guys. I agreed with, whatever Josh Papali'i wants, you give him, and he's earned the right. But I reckon they're probably looking there going, fuck, we could have kept him, we should have.
Yeah, potentially, depending on who they unearth next and what they do. But as a whole, even Pasami Solo, he's a good footballer. And for where they are now, really lacking front rowers, like your starting front rowers next year. I think Atamariota's done really well.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
the
he's
look of
been
him.
great.
You'll have him and Joe Tarpanay, but when one of them gets injured, you got I think it's Batuki Case who hasn't played a heap this year. I like the look of him. I wonder if there's any of these edges they have you could shift into middles, like a
You'd
Noah
assume like
Martin
Hosking
or
will
a-
probably go into the 13.
Hosking will go
He
into
can,
a
yeah.
middle. Yeah.
He's injured though. That's quite a lot.
Yeah, and like they will, I would assume they'll continue to run with their Dane Laurie's or whoever's going to replace the Jaden Brayleys of the world, Tom Starling playing that lock sort of role. But it is going to be a challenge for them.
Hudson Young, mate, what's going on there?
Yes, interesting one. Obviously, there's a bit of interest from PNG who yet to sign a big, forward. So there'll obviously be a bit of a carrot there for him. But for me, you look at someone like him and he just is the Canberra Raiders at the moment, particularly like, the next phase of the Raiders. He's obviously been there for quite a while. He's, a Ricky man through and through, it seems like. So I would be very surprised to see him go, probably. I feel like they might, they'll have to fork out a fair bit of cash for him, but I think he's worth it. I think he is the best back rower in the game. He's kind of got everything. He was outstanding at Origin this year as well. Definitely worth, the Raiders kind of bending over backwards to keep. They don't have you look through their list, like there's not a lot of bona fide superstars right now in that list. So I don't know what their cap looks like exactly, but you'd hope they've got a bit of cash to lock someone like him up.
The concern I have is that if it is true they offered him 1.1 and he hasn't taken that, that's worrying to me. That's super
Worrying?
because it's like you can't go any higher, can you?
Nope, I don't think so.
Like you can't. Like
It's the highest contract that's ever been offered by the Canberra Raiders.
yeah, and it's like obviously he impacts every single game he plays, and he's as important as a front rower. But it's like you just can't. He's an edge back rower to go to 1.2. That should be reserved for you're paying Hasses in the middle, or really you'd want to pay that to your halves.
New cap and stuff coming. Do you think it kind of
Man, that's a lot.
is
That's
1.2 the new 800, for instance, though, or something like that?
Maybe. I just think that like if a $1.1 million offer, the fact that there's still and I'm hearing whispers like that there's a chance he actually might go to PNG.
Yeah.
But it doesn't add up that he hasn't taken the $1.1 million deal. Like, that's a bloody good deal.
That's a huge deal. I tell you the other thing that would make you even more concerned if you're a Canberra Raiders fan is that when you look at the last month since he's been out as well, I think it's had a huge effect on Ethan Strange.
Yeah.
I think he's really struggled without Huddy next to him.
Even just the leadership that he can provide, Ethan Strange. And I think even from Hudson Young's perspective, and maybe I'm a bit naive, but like, would he even want to take up too much of the cap at the Raiders if he's going to stay? You know what I'm saying? Like, you get to a kind of point where it's like, for example, Cleary could have walked in 2 or 3 years ago to the Panthers and said, give me $1.5 million. But he didn't, because he understands, like, listen, if we don't have success, I can't afford to be getting paid that much. Not like, you can get that extra 200 or 300K, but you're actually hurting your chances of enjoying your footy each week because you're not winning games because you can't get some other. Like, we look at Manly, for example. They put all their money for 10 years into just 3 players, and although they all played really well, they never came close to a premiership.
Tough thing is for Raiders too, like you've lost a lot of champion players like Huddy over the years because it's Canberra. I think you've overcome that with this guy, but then you've got this fucking meteorite of PNG that goes past you. Like, well, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like, in what other era does Hudson Young turn down the biggest offer ever from the Canberra Raiders?
Like, he should
as an edge back row.
In any other era, that's an immediate yes.
100%.
Put the contract in front of me.
In
I'll sign
fact,
it
it's
right
us probably saying, "What are you doing?
now. Yeah.
You're not this desperate. Like, he's a fucking great player, but your highest paid player of all time."
I reckon it like makes sense in this context, but when you throw
That's
in
what
the
I'm
PNG,
saying.
but also like I think you have to look at it. Yes, he's a back rower. He's not any back rower. He's unorthodox. When you look at a team and you were to say who are our top 3 players who create points for us, most teams it's not a back rower. It's definitely Hudson Young. Like even his kicking game and shit at the start of the year last year, like he creates a lot of points and opportunities.
There's a genuine argument he might be number 1 in that team.
100%.
Well, I'm okay with the 1.1 million offer. I want to be clear. I'm okay with it. What I'm surprised at is him basically saying, I'm going to explore my options after getting that offer.
Because he knows he can. That's the reality. And I think
Like,
Canberra
what are you
would
gonna
go
squeeze,
higher.
How much more are you going to squeeze out of him? Like an extra 100K a year?
You could get to 1.3, I reckon, in this context with PNG there. And if I'm Canberra and he's number 1, and I think you'd struggle, like, obviously Weeks is a freak. He's come onto the scene. Owen Paddy's starting to really have an impact on games. But in terms of pure creativity of points, he's your number 1.
Fair. Yeah, look, like when you look at it purely from who's the player that impacts our games most, probably is Hudson Young. And him and Tarpanay. But you could make an argument it's him. So it's like...
What's hard though?
The only problem is though, like, okay, let's say they sign him for 1.3, and Sanders comes out and fucking rips next year. Strange rips, KO Weeks rips, Paddy rips. That extra 300 grand that you just gave him could mean the ability to keep one of your spine. And what does history suggest us? That your spine is your most important.
Yeah, but once again, I think it is different because you are the Raiders. It is harder to get guys to move down there. I think you have to try and make it work and just hope that when the time, and I mean, all going to plan, Sanders is going to be worth more than what he's on. That's what you want to try to achieve with those guys.
Paddy, the trajectory he's on right now, in 2 years, honestly, maybe in a year, but in 2 years, if he keeps playing like this, he could get maybe 900K, maybe
He'll
even
be
$1
the
million.
next best hooker after Harry Grant within 3 or 4 years.
And so,
I have no doubt about
So you're looking at like $1 million.
Yeah.
Minimum, honestly.
Yeah.
With the new salary cap.
Your one advantage might be that Harry Grant keeps him out of rep teams for now to boost his salary there too.
Then you got Strange, who is currently in the rep sides.
Yep.
So he's going to want $1 million. He's at 6. Fucking hell. Jeez, being a salary cap, like someone taking care of salary cap, just must be the worst job ever.
Well, you've also got, so Paddy and Tarpanay are both contracted until the end of 2028. But obviously, similar to what you guys are saying about Sanders, like the other problem you would run into, like if I was Tarpanay and then all of a sudden Hudson, like let's say they go to 1.2 or 1.3 to keep him. And I've been the guy who, like, minimal injuries. I'm always the guy that puts us on the front foot. Like, when Papali'i's been injured, he's been the guy that's really stood up. He's their captain. You'd be a bit off it. So
I do think with Tarpanay, he is so loved by that club that he knows he's going to be taken care of literally for life, I think.
True.
So and he's already on $1 million, Tarpany.
Yeah.
He got
As he
upgraded
should be,
recently.
yeah.
And so I think he has got such a strong relationship with Ricky that if there was ever that feeling of like, well, fuck, like I'm your captain and I'm not getting paid the most, they would be like, mate, you are ours for life. Like we're talking, coaching, whatever you want. But essentially whatever you want.
We will do what we just did for Josh Papali, releasing Trey Mooney to keep you, to have that last year to take care of you. He's one of theirs.
Yeah, and I honestly think a guy like Tarpany will end up in coaching. And I'm really excited to see Tarpany with the next generation of Polynesian players coming through because I actually think when you actually hear Tarpany talk, he's he speaks like a coach. He speaks like a coach. So I'm really excited to see how it go there. Even if it's a forwards coach in Origin or for the Kiwis or a forwards coach he honestly could go from playing to straight into forwards coach, I reckon, at the Raiders. That's how loved he is.
This will sound really dumb about Papali'i, but I read it during the week. I thought it was mad. Like, obviously he's from Queensland because he's done so much for Queensland in Origin. I've only ever associated him with Canberra. And I read this thing during the week where it was like for him, it was pretty much Logan and the Broncos. But when he moved to Canberra to start his career at Canberra, he didn't even fucking know where it was. Like, he thought Brisbane was the capital of Australia. Like, it's fucking mad that he's gone down there.
Logan being the capital of Australia? Wow.
No, Brisbane.
I know.
Yeah.
Taking a piss. I used to catch a train out there to see my first girlfriend. That's a Logan. Good times. Just young. Just doing my best. Okay, on to the next game. Dolphins defeat the Eels 34-16. And I'm going to apologise in advance to the fans of these two teams. But there's not really that much to talk about because I didn't learn that much from these games. Like, Dolphins started essentially, like their first couple of sets, it was quick, but then they started pretty slow. Eels fought hard, like they've fought all year long, and then the Dolphins ran over the top of them. So the only thing to talk about for me really is the Dolphins need to sort their starts out. Whether they've been in great form and winning match after match or losing, their starts have been poor. But outside of that, like, I didn't really learn much. Actually, I do have an apology to make to Eels fans, which I'll get to. But with the Dolphins, they've got to sort their start out. But I'm still on them when it comes to I can't wait to see them in finals footy.
I am warming to them from a defensive point of view. They kept Manly to 0 last week. Granted, Parramatta started fast here, but if you look for the last 60 minutes of that game, they only conceded the one try to Kelma. The Dolphins previously, their MO has been for the vast majority of the season, we're fine with you scoring 32. We know we can score 34. To concede 16 points in the last 2 weeks, granted, not against top 8 teams, but you can only play who's against you. I thought it's been very evident the last 2 weeks as well that they're changing their style of game to almost prepare themselves for September. They're just completing sets and they're kicking deep. And then I thought the back end of this game, they got a little bit more flippant as the game went on once they started to get out in front, it is still my big concern with the Dolphins heading into the end of the season.
I'm still on them. I still think they can make a shake of this thing. I like the fact that they actually are trying to identify the problem. Yeah. Instead of sitting there going, we're top 4, right? We've been in the comp for 4 years. Let's just score more points than the opposition and we'll be sweet rather than keeping them to low points. So I like that Christian Wolf is trying to address those problems. I'm still on them. I'm excited, but I will say it has cooled slightly from the run they had on, but I'm still definitely on them. Boys, Asaka, I'll go to you first. Timmy?
How dare you?
Mate, Asaka, was it a try or not a try?
Yeah, I was okay with it. I thought he maintained control of the ball. That's how they ref it now.
As in contact with the ball, not control.
Oh, sorry, maintain contact. Yeah.
Thankfully, they didn't apply that yesterday. But
yeah, again, other ones over the weekend again. But in terms of that one, watching it live, I thought it was a try. Watching it in slow-mo, I could understand why they take it away, but I think it's the right call that it's a try.
I know we say this pretty regular on the show, but I feel like there's still quite a lot of people that have the old interpretation of what a try is. So it used to be you have to have control going to the ground. It changed. I think it was the start of this year or last year, where if the ball is in your palm and you lose control of it, but it stays in contact with your hand or your forearm as it goes down, that is considered a try. And so I actually was a bit surprised that, I get it. You're emotional and you're angry, but I was surprised that Riles went that negatively at it because I thought it was a try. I thought you could clearly see clear evidence of his hand on the ball touching it grounded.
Yeah, I think the point you made before is a good one, that even for me, mate, like my initial reaction was, that's not a fucking try. That hasn't been a try for 108 years. But as of 2 years ago, 1 year ago, whenever it came in, it was. So, yeah, when you said off the top, was it a try? I'm like, well, no, it wasn't. But under the new rules, yes, it is.
Yeah, I felt like his hand always stayed touching it.
Yeah.
And it hit the ground. Oh, was it his left hand like that? Now, that's why I was surprised that the Nwangani Tawase won, because they said clear evidence of separation. I was like, I can't see clear evidence of separation from his hand.
I actually thought the Osaka one, there was one angle that I was like, oh, I don't know. But then there was another one where I was like, oh, no, that's a try.
Yeah.
You can't overturn it.
I don't reckon it's actually like that new of a rule. I just think we saw that weird period over the last few years where they started talking about like having to re-grip the
Definitely
ball.
a new rule. Definitely, I promise you.
But off the back of the re-grip, right? Like it used to be, I swear it used to be if you're in contact with it, like players have been able to ground it with their torso for as long as I can remember.
I
like
think control has been around for a while. Control,
yeah.
yeah.
But like say the Osaka one, right? He never lost touch with the ball. So I can't see a world where like say even 10 years ago, could you have taken that off him when
Yeah,
it
because
never
he didn't
lost
have
his
control.
hand?
I think if it starts falling out of your hand, you lose control, you got to re-grip it.
But it was like the rule was always downward pressure, right?
Yeah, but that was if you haven't already got grip of it. If you've got control of it and you drop it, but then you touch it, that's no try because you lost control. Whereas now they're like control is irrelevant as long as it stays in touch with your forearm or your hand.
What do you prefer?
I don't look. I feel like this one makes it. You assume it makes it pretty clear because control is pretty vague. You know, like did he have control? Not control. This one for me is like, look, I could have lived with either, but it's like pretty clear. If it's still touching his hand, it's a try. So I don't actually mind it that much. And I know I'll get some pushback, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, downward pressure. I feel like it's just there's less grey area for me. It's like, all right, if you technically it's left your hand, but it's still here, and you go, it doesn't look pretty, but I feel like there's less. Oh, why was that one adjudicated?
I'm with you. It's
that
just
one?
like it's still touching, so it's all good.
It's a bit ick, but it is easier to kind of.
It's tough as well because like tries off kicks where it happens and they're trying to regather the ball and catch up. I'm like, sweet. But then there is the other side of me that when you're just going over the try and trying to get the ball and you drop it, but then your hand meets it on the ground with your wrist or whatever. It's like, well, that happened at halfway. It's a knock on every day of the week.
Yeah, for sure. I think the reason why it sits weirdly with people is like the spirit of the game is like once you lose control, it's a knock on essentially. Like unless you re-grip it on the field. So like if you lose it in the field, but then you re-grip it, it's not a knock on. If you lose it but then go like that, it is a knock on. I get it, and it still feels weird to me when I see a Sarko try being given, but with the new rules, like it just is.
And you don't see it as often, but it's very similar for me when you see a player blatantly drop a ball and they happen to get their foot.
Oh, yeah,
it's like it's a
that
kick.
whole
I'm
one.
like, miss me. It's a knock on.
Yeah.
They've started
It's
reffing
always
that one a
been
bit
that.
differently
I know,
recently.
If you intentionally put your foot out, it's considered a kick.
I reckon like it's okay to have a different rule for try scoring situations. Like we've got it with the one-on-one strip, for example. Like you can do a 4-on-1 in the in goal or in the process of scoring a try. Like if we want to see the crazy finishes, we do. Like there was a Dallin one, obviously, the next day as well. Like if you want to see crazy finishes, the new rule makes the most sense because the expectations are you just have to keep touching the ball.
Yeah, with the new rule, there would have been so many. Like if we didn't put the new rule in, there's a lot of tries this year that wouldn't have been given that were crazy.
Crazy
the finger
ones,
was just touching still.
I do sincerely hope I'm alive to see the day that a player knocks on, kicks it in a fit of fury, and it goes for 1 point. And what they do, it's going to happen one day.
Oh, that'd be great stuff. Stuff. But yeah, in regards to the Dolphins boys, we spoke about him a little bit earlier, but Brian Ponyu, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'll let you speak about him a little bit, but mate, wow, 18 years old.
Proper weapon, yeah. 18 years old. He's been playing in the back row in Queensland Cup. We actually said on the show last week when there was that injury to Lemuelu that he'd be a sniff to get in there. I think the Dolphins named Plath there to sort of take a bit of attention off him. And when they named him there, I still expected Plath to play the first 20 minutes or so. He went the distance. He played the full 80 on the edge. He was so impressive. If you've only seen him in first grade, he's played centre on a few occasions. But he's been playing back row in reserve grade. Yeah, we said it a few months ago, but he is the reason why Lemuelu is able to have conversations with other clubs November 1 because they know what they've got.
Oren Keeley as well as being.
Oren Keeley, they let go. Like you've seen what Oren Keeley's done down there at Melbourne, and you've seen what Lemuelu's done this year for the Dolphins. For them to decide, we'll let both of these dudes go, you know they've got something special. And if that was game 1 of NRL in the back row playing 80 minutes, terrifying to think what he could do.
I can't believe how physically strong he looked compared to the opposition. So, and he warmed into the game. So he essentially had the best statistical game of any player on the park. outside of maybe I'll get to Herbie.
would be
Herbie
pretty
outside of
handy,
Herbie.
Yeah.
So 15 runs, 179 meters on the edge, by the way. 76 post contact, 18 years old, by the way. Six tackle breaks, one line break. 39 tackles, only one missed on the edge.
Yeah, I think the other thing to keep in mind as well, I'm pretty sure when you've seen him in first grade, he's been playing right centre. He played left back row in this.
Bro, freak. And you can see on his frame, he has so much more muscle mass to put on. Like, he is a freak.
Yeah. Even if he wasn't 18, it is still unbelievable. But to be doing what he's doing, like when you have a look at in Queensland Cup this year, he's played 11 games. He's played 80 minutes in each and every one of them. He's averaging 130 run meters in the back row. He's made 300 tackles. He's missed 6 in 11 games, 25 tackle breaks, 4 line breaks, 2 try assists, scored 3 tries. Like, mate, alone to be 18 playing Q Cup and playing 11 games in the back row for 80 minutes and missing 6 tackles.
It's insane.
That's absolutely wild.
It's like even Payne Haas in his first couple of games didn't have those stats. And he is considered, it's so exciting what they got there. And, I've spoken about it quite a bit, but it's just such evidence that I don't believe we've got a talent shortage. I think we've got system shortage. The fact that the Dolphins can come in and be in their 4th year and be letting like stars go because they've just got all these juniors just filtering through, it's because they've got a system that's been around forever and they know how to develop players.
Yeah. His first 5 games, of Q Cup, he played in the centres. He made 15 plus tackles in each of them. Didn't miss a single tackle in the centres.
That is actually mental, bro.
And then moved into the back row and has just been carving it there.
It's crazy. That's crazy. Herbie Farnworth. Now, he's still in our team of the week because he was freaking, he had just a crazy amount of impact in the game. I will say, though, some errors have been creeping into his game. And heading into finals footy, they need him to, I'm willing to give him a few because he's doing so much work. And when you look at his stats, 2 tries, a try assist, 23 runs, 281 metres, 83 post contact, 8 tackle breaks, a line break, 3 line break assists, 4 offloads, 18 tackles, 0 misses. Like, that is like, bro, at a fullback, that's crazy. He's at centre. He had 5 errors, so he just needs to clean that up a little bit. But I tell you what, when you got him rampaging and Selwyn Cobbo rampaging, and then Bostock and Osaka on the other side, mix in Herbie the Hammer, what do you do?
They're gonna break some hearts in September. I don't know how many hearts that is. I think it might be 1 or 2, but and yeah, without being a negative arsehole about it though, it is gonna be just those errors that they turn over that these good teams are gonna make them pay. Because your Penriths, your Roosters, with the exception of the weekend, they can make errors. They can allow Mark to throw the ball around and do stuff because they'll defend those errors. The Dolphins, as much as they've been good the last 2 weeks, as I mentioned earlier, it was against bottom 8 sides. I think against those top teams, they're not going to be able to defend those errors.
Like, this is how dominant they are in attack. They had 48 tackle breaks to 16 of the Eels. It's crazy.
Good test for them. They have got the Roosters this week, I believe,
Yep.
the Dolphins. So that will be a
Huge
bit of a
game as far as the ladder
where are we
goes.
at?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Christian Wolf did say it's hard not to, you're expected to win this game. It's hard not to have this in the back of your head that the Roosters are coming up. Anything on the Dolphins before we move to the Eels, boys?
No, I just think, they've got the most dangerous backline for me in the whole comp. They're all rep quality. They can get you from anywhere. To have 2 guys there, crossover for doubles. Just about nearly all of them scored on the weekend. So they only need this much of a, if they can minimise those errors, you're right, Rue. I think they can knock 1 or 2 teams off. I'm not sure they got 3 good games at their top quality in a row. I might be wrong, but they'll be a nightmare to play in the finals.
Let's assume the ladder stays the same as it is right now. Wars finished 1, Penrith finished 2. If you're the Dolphins, what would you rather do?
Go to New Zealand, play the Wires, or play Penrith?
Yep.
Far out. Just nightmare fuel stuff. Probably,
I
honestly,
think it's Penrith.
Honestly, it might
Definitely
be
Penrith. It's definitely
Because
Penrith.
that first finals game for the Wires at home is going to be fucking, honestly insane.
Biblical event.
You're not going to get a call. It's,
They also just get such a roll on too. Like, I don't think the Dolphins have the defense to match that.
Yeah, just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, now on to the Eels. Do you have anything on the Dolphins quickly?
Nah, I think you guys covered everything, yeah.
On to the Eels. I think I have an apology to make to Eels fans because
About time.
So for quite a while now, and I'm sure you've seen it in the comment section as well, when we talk about the Eels, I'm sitting here the whole time saying they're gutsy, they've had a bunch of injuries, guys, wait till Riles, gets them all in the park. they'll be fighting around top 8 potentially with everyone on the park. But I've constantly seen these comments of like, man, like the Eels are in a terrible position. Look at our recruitment, who we've got coming to the club. And I initially was like, nah, like, you know, give them some injuries and they'll be sweet. The comment kept coming up. So I was like, you know what? It's coming from enough people that aren't just saying it to be fuckwits. They just genuinely care about their club. So I've been watching them closely the last couple of weeks. And like, the more I look, the more I'm like, well, hang on a sec. They've got probably 2 years to win a comp because it's all based around Mitchell Moses. And when I look at, you know, some of these young guys that are playing, they're good. Don't get me wrong. They're good. But do they wow me like some of these other juniors coming through at the moment? Now, granted, I haven't seen Lorenzo play yet, so he might be a gun. I don't know. He may be incredible in first grade. But around that, I look at their roster and I go, can this roster grow into winning a comp in the next 2 to 3 years? And I go, you know what? I actually am a little bit concerned about this next little push for the Eels because I look at, for example, the Raiders. And when I look at their juniors and their young fellas, I go, wow, like Owen Paddy, Ethan Strange, K.O. Weeks, Sanders. And so I'm going, okay, you know what? They've got basically a 3-year window before Moses moves on. Who's going to be the 7? I don't know. Who's that? You know, Katonga is a great young forward, but is he the next big thing? You know, maybe, but I don't see it just yet, but he could grow into it. Outside of that, they've got Charlie Geimer, I think it is.
Saxon Pryke.
And do I sit there and go, wow, they're the next big thing? I don't know if I do. And so if they had longer, let's say Mitch Moses was 25 or something, then I could say, okay, this is a long-term plan. But this plan at the moment, it runs out in 2 or 3 years. And you could argue, if you wanted to be super, super brutal, you could argue it's already ran out when you consider how much footy he's played in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and it also goes deeper than that as well. Like you got Mitch Moses at the age he's at, Josh Adokars at a similar age, juniors at a similar age. So there is going to be a lot of change here. And I think that has been Parramatta's thing is that, you know, they've managed to get Jack Williams and Brian Kelly to the club, which have been great signings. But outside of that, they haven't really grabbed too much. Like
they've got Luai coming for 1 year.
Got Luai.
They're not winning a comp next year.
He's popping in for a year. Yeah. Jack DeBellon's been a huge failure of a signing there, realistically.
Do any of the young guys excite you as much as, say, the Dolphins young guys? Or
No. And like, I really like Lorenzo, but them signing Luai for a year is them telling you still not ready.
Yeah. And look, Lorenzo might kill it. I'm not sure. But the other guys around him that actually have already played first grade, they don't excite me as much as some of these other young guys at this stage. I could be wrong, but at this stage.
And like Twiddle, I really like. He had a pretty mixed bag the other night. But he's going to Perth anyway. But yeah, no, I do. I can understand the frustration from Eels fans. I think there are still a lot of positives to take from the last 2 years as far as where Jack Williams is at.
Iongi's had a bit of a down
all of a
year.
sudden out of nowhere. Jordan Samrani. Iongi, I still think they've got a genuine star on their hands
But
there.
like, is it a little bit of concern? And look, I'm a massive fan of Sam Riney, but he's probably their player of the year this year.
Yeah, he probably is, yeah.
And like, a rookie centre that isn't even a boom rookie centre.
He was a back rower last year.
Should not be your player of the year.
Yeah. Yep, fair.
And so I look at it and I just go, actually, the fact that they've flip-flopped on Volkman, that's super concerning. Now Josh Papali'i is being told you can find somewhere else. I actually look at it and I go, this team can make the 8 next year and maybe like at best fit in the next 2 years they finish like 6 to 8. But can they genuinely push for a premiership whilst Mitch Moses is still at the club? I'm not sure if they can.
Yeah, I don't think I have them in the premiership winning race in the next 2 years.
So like, who's the next guy that's going to be the main guy for them?
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're planning to push towards something that's not reality. You know?
Yeah, especially if like Moses plays Origin again next year or he gets injured. Like you're probably 2 or 3 injuries away from the possibility that both of them go to Origin.
Put it this way, if you woke up 2 years ago and you didn't watch Origin, you would say Mitch Moses looks like an aging player in Clubland.
Yeah, fair.
And granted, he'd go away having we've said all the nice things about Mitch Moses, guys. We are huge fans of Mitch Moses. I don't know. Is that too harsh? Is that too harsh of it? Give me a reason why I'm wrong.
Yeah, no. I don't have them in that premiership contention sort of thing. I don't know if it's part of just because it's Parramatta as well. They haven't won a comp in so long that I look at them a little bit differently as well. But yeah, as a whole, it definitely is concerning. I tend to be the same. I think Parramatta fans sometimes play it up a little bit too much. But you make a fair argument.
Well, like Para is a heartland of rugby league.
Yep.
And the fact that they don't have just juniors flowing through that joint that are just red hot is concerning.
Well, yeah.
They do have.
They do have, yeah. But I
you know,
also think, like, yeah, I think the unfortunate thing for Parramatta is as well that all of a sudden playing for Penrith
is a big deal.
so appealing.
Yeah, I mean, they have had a lot of really close games this year, right? Like they've hung in, they've been tough. I know what you're saying. We're talking about them competing for a premiership, but I think, I don't know, like how chips in can you be on, like, say, Lorenzo, for example? Like if he's 18, 19, I know he's been playing Cup this year.
Is he 20 at the moment?
I think he'd be 20 now, I think.
Yeah, he
But
was,
anyway,
was
yeah.
it 18 or 19
young.
start of the year. But like he's halves partner at the moment, Jonah Pezzett in Cup. He's leaving. Like it's not like you're building any continuity in that position in the lower grades. Like, yeah, I think it's weird too. Like I would still think that Volkman's been probably one of you, but like I think Sam Rani's the player of the year. I think Volkman or Kelly's probably second.
Maybe Jack Williams.
Well, him too, yeah. I mean, he's definitely been an unsung hero. I know we've praised him a lot on here, but yeah, the other thing is too, like, who's your main spine guy now? Talon? If Moses moves on?
That's the other thing as well. Like if he's struggled to gel with Moses as well, the next young guy coming through is going to be tough. Gelling with Talon at 9.
More established senior player now. Like if he's clashing with Moses, yeah, that's very concerning.
It's a tough one. Like I almost feel like, yeah, like do they need to make some crazy decision and like rebuild again? Like I don't know. Like it feels like they're moving towards something that probably isn't a reality. And trust me, I'll be more than happy to be wrong if they turn into a premiership threat next year. Awesome, I'm stoked. But I see it and I look at some of these other clubs. You look at the Dolphins juniors, look at the Warriors juniors, Panthers. You look at the Raiders. I don't know.
Based on, like, if we're only talking about next year, I think next year is really an exciting year for them. Like, I think it wouldn't shock me if they are somewhere between 8th and 4th. Like, if they get a couple of really good wins or if they get a lucky injury run. And that's probably exciting as a Para fan. But if we're talking about longer than that, like, it really probably does drop off in the next 2-3 years.
Like I feel like this plan would be really good if Moses was 25.
Yeah.
But really, he probably has 2 good years left in him at club.
It's going to be hard to time it too, because like unless you, and that's why I'd be interested to know how chips in they really are on Lorenzo, because like you let Moses play out his career. Like I feel like he's earned that at that club. He plays as long as he feels like he can, and as long as they're happy for him to do that. To then try and get someone else who's going to be your long-term solution is like, you're not giving yourself a heap of time. And it's hard to bring a guy who's a bit older than Lorenzo to the club saying you're our long-term guy, but you might have to sit in Cup for another 2 to 3 years.
And the CEO just he's moved on. Now maybe that's just a timing thing. I think he's been there for a decade, but it doesn't. It's not great.
Nah.
A CEO, he runs the whole joint. Like you'd think that with this whole rebuild, you'd think he'd want to see it through to the end, wouldn't you? And I don't know. You know, there's no information that I have that it's because he's been pushed out or because he's offered or whatever. But it's not ideal that you lose your CEO as this rebuild is. What would you say? We're in the second year of a rebuild.
Yeah, since Roll's been.
What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, Tom makes a good point. They've lost a lot of close games this year. There's 5 games they've lost by 6 or less. So you win 3 or 4 of them, you're in the frame for the finals. Might just scrape in there, and you'd probably say second year into a rebuild, you'd probably take that. Cookie hasn't crumbled that way. They're sitting, on the edge of the bottom 4 there. So yeah, it hasn't been all peaches and cream. They've missed Mitch Moses a fair bit through the year. He kind of, wasn't really around during Origin series, but he was almost like they used the club to get him right for Origin, which was a little bit, we kind of commented on that at the time. That it was funny that he missed a few games, but then was, kind of like nursed through for Origin. But look, they've got some ingredients there, but I don't know. I'm not going into next year with any confidence where we're going, I feel like the trajectory they're on there, they're a lock for my top 8. I'm probably a bit more optimistic about other teams like the Dragons, funnily enough, are on the bottom of the ladder. They've recruited really well.
That's another example. Look at the Dragons, young fellas coming through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't it make the Pezzett thing with time so weird? Like the idea that there's two ways you could have looked at it. The Luai thing speaks for itself. It's Jerome Luai. You can get him for 12 months, circumstance, whatever. With Pizzette, initially it was like he's coming to be one of our halves to partner Moses. Even if you were going to argue he's actually there to be a depth guy, they haven't even really, realistically, they haven't even really used him like a depth guy either this year. Like,
Look, it's tough because that hasn't worked out, but Kelly's worked out, Williams has worked out, Sam Ronnie has worked out.
Simonson was killing it. He returned in cup on the weekend.
So,
too.
like, Riles does have runs on the board of, like, players getting substantially better under him. It's just, I just look at it and I go, you know, comparatively speaking, how excited I am about this next generation compared to other clubs' next generation. And at this stage, I would say, you know, I'm kind of excited. But when I look at the Raiders, the Dragons, the Dolphins, you know, blah, blah, I said it. So, look, let us know in the comment section, Eels fans. Are you happy with the direction, or do you feel like you need to recruit more, or you feel like, you know, a lot of decisions? What I will say that we may not be aware of is there may be a lot of tough calls being made in regards to their pathways, and their next generation that's 5 years away is going to be the big thing.
Which, to be fair as well to Riles, made the decision to let Gutho go, which was a huge call at the time for Iongi coming into that side, and I personally think he nailed that call.
Yeah, Yongi's been, I mean, he was a bit down this year at times, Yongi, but yeah, he's been the right call for sure.
I think when he's got Mitch Moses there, he's unreal. Though.
Yeah.
I love him. And I think they made timing-wise, the right call letting Gutho go.
Especially to get him to the club. If that was like the clinching factor of like you'll play first grade, I think it was the right call. So that's why I'm not ready to just like put the boot in and say, you know, Eels are stuffed and they can't make the 8 or whatever, because I think there's a lot of stuff you could point to and go, right. But I do also really do understand now, and probably got it wrong, where like I get where Eels fans' frustrations come from, is like, who are we really recruiting that's going to turn us into a premiership heavyweight at this stage? Okay, it's time for the Seagulls defeating the Knights 44-24. What's so strange about this game is like there was a period in that first half where the Knights, it was going to be a 40-10 absolute walloping. And then they put the cue on the rack, and the Seagulls said, even when the Seagulls started coming back, I was like, you know, the Knights will wrangle this back. I tell you what, the Seagulls were outstanding for that last 60 minutes and dominated them. Such a weird result, because, again, it just kind of puts doubt in your mind as a Manly fan, where you say, okay, so this team can... When you actually look at how many players they are missing in the middle, it's nothing short of a miracle they won this game by this. Like, they're missing so many forwards, so much so that Caleb Navalu, he obviously came on, scored a try with his second touch. They are missing so many people from their forward pack, and they beat the Knights 44-24. It's the most like bizarre, great victory, maybe all year, honestly, maybe all year.
Without just parroting exactly what you just said, I cannot believe after 20 minutes Newcastle lost this game of football. I cannot fathom it. Like, you have a look over the last 2 weeks. Essentially, if you go back to 2 weeks ago in Perth, Paseka comes off the field after 25 minutes. They're up 20 points, and they completely shit the bed after that. They had an absolute shocker last week. And then when they were down in Newcastle Saturday afternoon, down 18-6
Old
or whatever
Boys
it was, Old Boys Day, fucking grandstand full of piss, having a great time. I cannot believe how this played out.
Honestly, out of all the, like, even with like the Tigers, I could say, all right, they'll get up for it, and it's one big effort, and the Roosters underestimate them and they get the win. This one, I was like, when you look at like Leafy he's a rookie that is just starting to get a bit of game time, but if they were all fit, he would not be starting. Nathan Brown at 10, he wouldn't be 10, he'd be off the bench. Ben Travojevic is back, yep, fair enough. Jake Travojevic, he's usually in there. But then you look at their bench, Nicholas Linaz, Caleb Navale, Josh Felady, Corey Waddell, and Fletcher Baker. Like, that bench, respectfully, that's, you know, they're there because there's a lot of injuries. And they belted the Knights, absolutely belted them. I can't believe it. And so that's what's so confusing about this Manly win, is like, okay, is Fosball back? Is this incredible run of form back when you consider how much injuries they had? Especially when you compare the Knights. You look across, Jacob Saifidi comes back in, Tyson Frizzell, Jermaine McEwen, Trey Mooney. Hopwood has been outstanding recently. Lachlan Crouch, Thomas Kant. Like, these guys have all been outstanding recently. It's a great win for Manly, and I think they won't get as much raps for it because it's kind of happened in a situation where they can't make the 8. But if they were fighting for the 8, this would be like probably the win of the season for them.
Yeah, well, if this was 3 weeks ago, completely, it could actually be a win that could turn things around.
Yeah. I cannot believe it. Incredible performance from the Seagulls, especially like it's not even like they came out and blow them off the park and they were just on. They were getting dominated that first 20 minutes. So, Manly fans, good on them. And it's a tick for Foz where they can't make the 8, but he can get this out of them. It shows that they're still playing for him, that they're playing for the jersey. So I think it's a real tick for Kieran Foran.
When you say they can't make the 8, you mean mathematically.
Totally true. Far out.
Huge win.
Jesus.
Huge win for the club. Huge win for the podcast.
Huge win for the content game.
Yeah, exactly right. It was weird though. Obviously Lehigh with that offload early, and then Clayton scores. No part of me was like, oh, game on here. With all due respect to him, like I was like, the Knights will switch on here. Then they did, but yeah, I mean, mathematically sure. Like,
well, let's run that through. So they need I think 3 teams to lose both games.
It's a mathematical chance, but I mean, the Bunnies played the Titans this week, and the Cowboys played the Tigers.
And Dogs are ahead of them as well.
They need the Cows and the Bulldogs to lose both games.
I thought I'd get more out of you then when I emphasised the Tigers.
We're
but
going
that's
to hammer
fine.
the Cowboys, so that'll be half the job done.
Yeah, and
They play Warriors in New Zealand as well.
I think, they would. That's the only way to play out is they find themselves in a position if we beat the Warriors in New Zealand, we make the 8. If the other 2 both lose.
And they both
games.
lose. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think even Raiders are on the same points as them. So, like, you could argue Raiders are technically can make the 8.
I think them and the Storm might be 1 win lower.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Raiders
got
one
the
win
same.
less?
Raiders got the same number of wins.
Raiders got the same number.
So they got a
very
bye
poor
left.
For and against.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Raiders have the same amount of wins. They're mathematically a chance as well.
So
They're not on the same amount of wins?
They are on the same amount of wins, but they'd have to win their last game by like 200 points.
no, they're yeah.
But if Manly lose and 2 of the top 8 teams lose and Raiders win both games.
To be honest with you, they're not making the 8. Raiders aren't making the 8. Sorry, Raiders fans.
So Manly and Canberra have both won 10 games. Manly still have their bye. Canberra still have their bye. And you need to get 12 to get into the 8. But Canberra only have 1 more game left. So the maximum amount of wins they could finish on is 11. Whereas Manly have an opportunity to win 2 more games. So Canberra are gone.
Yep. Well explained.
I'll tell you what
if Manly lose both games though?
They're out.
But then what if they lose their 2 games and so does and then Raiders win? They get the 2 points for the bye, and then win all. And
No,
then win
because
their
the
last
team
game.
currently running 8th has got 12 wins, so they're done.
Okay.
Raiders done.
Yeah, they're done. You know what's really annoying in hindsight against the Manly Seagulls season? Do we all agree if Seabold stayed as coach, we're not
No, of
having
course
this
not.
conversation?
No.
They had a bye in round 3. If they would have had their bye at any other time during the year, I don't care who they would have played that week, they would have lost. And we wouldn't be going to
That's a good point. That is a good
I
point.
don't care who they were playing, it doesn't matter.
But yeah, look, all jokes aside, just a great performance. And I guess Folau, like, boys, does he? It's a bit of a spanner in the works with Folau playing as well as he did.
I know he was injured. I thought there was a really good chance. Like we've spoken about Tom Trebojevic moving to the centres for half a decade now because of his injuries. When Clayton came onto the scene, I was like, fuck, there's every chance this is the time we see it happen. And I know it sort of lined up when Tommy came back initially that Clayton was out and then whatever. I think like if there chips in on Joey Walsh to be the half long term, like surely you can explore that with Clayton. Like Tommy looked hurt a couple of times. I think there was 3 times on the weekend where and Tom was great, I thought, but there was 3 or 4 times where I was like, oh fuck, he's injured again.
So are you saying as in Folau goes to fullback, or are you saying Walsh to 7, Folau to 6?
Well, yeah, that's assuming you're keeping Jamal at 7. I guess you could have the 2 young guys in the halves and go chips in on them as well. That's another option, but
I mean, long term, Walsh, because Walsh is a 7 in reserve grade, correct?
Yeah, he can sort of, he can do both.
Long term, I don't mind Folau Walsh when we're talking next 5 years.
yeah.
Yeah, it's obviously a very small sample size to start with, but yeah.
It's definitely put a question that we didn't have.
Yeah,
2
without a
weeks ago.
doubt, yeah.
It was a bigger sample size at fullback. Like, did you guys find him as impressive as I did earlier in the year? Like, obviously, we're talking at start
at
of the
fullback,
fourth run.
he was great.
Yeah.
He was great. It's
Did you guys think he'd actually play 5'8" in this game?
I did. I think. Did you? You didn't.
I didn't think he.
You didn't think he would. Yeah, I did. I think because I just think that Foran's backing Tommy Turbo all the way and saying you're a fullback no matter what.
Because the other thing heading into the future, obviously Garrick's Gonski. So do we assume Clayton jumps into the centres? Does Turbo jump into the centres?
I would be having Turbo in the centres, and also Falau's too good to be sitting in reserve grade. He'll get a contract somewhere else. Like, there's no way he's going to sit in reserve grade again.
Yeah, I reckon you go him at fullback and you let Turbo jump in centres, and you can still have certain sets or whatever where Turbo can come in and play fullback when you want him to.
Yeah.
I think that makes the most sense. Like, yeah.
I'm with you. But yeah, some of these performances were outstanding. I got to admit, they actually really did miss Ben Trbojevic. You know, for a guy that coming into this year, me personally, I was kind of getting to the point of like, this is your last chance at Manly. Now, granted, because he's Trbojevic, I doubt they're going to let him go. But in regards to like, mate, you need to start finding your feet. Like, you've got a lot of talent. We see it every now and then. He has grown into a player that when he is not in the side now, they absolutely miss him on an edge.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he's had a good coming of age. It's funny with Ben Trbojevic. Sorry, my God, I was passed out for a second there. I still don't think he's anywhere near his full potential. Still, I still look at him and go, "Fuck, there is still so much more growth that we could see from you." Whether we do or not, we'll wait and see. But I think he's definitely getting to a level now where you can see a difference when he's not there for Manly.
Well, I mean, he had 3 line break assists on the weekend, which is outstanding. 120 plus meters run. So he was great. I thought Fogarty was much better than he has been. The first 20 a bit iffy, but much better than he has been. What about off the bench, Josh Felity? I think it was the first 4 touches, he had 3 tries.
Former Tigers legend. Josh Felity.
Yeah.
One of the great haircuts.
One of the great haircuts.
All the people in the crowd loved it. They all had the mullet wigs on, didn't they?
Mate,
Getting around him.
He had 3 tries and he only ran for 4. He had 6 runs.
Yeah, well, I think he scored 2 of them from dummy half. Was it Josh Felity? Really interesting career so far. He was at the Manly Seagulls. He actually came through. He was the centre on the edge of Latu Fainu as a junior. I think if you go back, there's a Harold Matts season where I think he got top point scorer in the competition and he wasn't a goal kicker.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just how many tries he scored that season.
Jesus.
Him and Latu just absolutely carved up that year. Something along those lines, or he was in the top 2 or 3 or something like that. It was a weapon coming through. They shipped him off to the Tigers for 2 years.
Yep, 2 or 3. Played 2 or 3 games a year, if that, sort of most years. And he's gone back to Manly this year.
He's now come back. He's starting to do some good things. He's still very raw, very, very raw. I think, as I said, 2 of these tries came from dummy half and whatnot. There was even one of them where I was like, scored, but probably shouldn't have gone there realistically. But there's talent there for sure.
I don't mind, unless he got injured, but I actually don't mind Laifi playing small stints at the moment, little 20-minute stints, unless he was injured. I just think just ease him in. Don't expect Payne Haas numbers from him or what we're seeing from some of these forwards at the moment. He's a big boy. He's 18 years old. You don't need to rush his development. Foz will handle that. He'll handle that. On to the Knights, boys. Look, in isolation, if I just look at it like Old Boys Day, home game against Manly, incredibly disappointing. But when I look at the wider year that they've had, for me, they've earned grace of like a poor game. They've earned grace for me.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, I think internally, and I think you could tell. I mean, you're on the show last night with the boys, Hummy. They looked pretty filthy to me with this performance.
Yeah, I don't think they were wrapped. I think they were a little bit embarrassed, given it was Old Boys Day, all that sort of stuff, which is usually a huge day. You hear that phrase about the Knights more than almost any other team. Like, they really kind of live for that, get up for it, and didn't go their way the other day. I think you're right, though, Kempy, in terms of forgiving some of these teams. This is probably the time, if you're going to have a little bit of a weird, unexplainable loss, you'd probably rather have it now, knowing what you got to work on for a couple of weeks heading into the finals, than have it too late or in the first final, for example. Like the Roosters, another one we'll get to later. But they've been up for a couple of weeks. They've been doing it with, a couple of injuries and stuff like that as well. So a shame it had to come on a day which is supposed to be like a bit of a celebration for the club. But yeah, there's a few teams I think that probably had the loss they needed to have now.
I think it's the first time since round 15 or 14, I think, they've conceded more than 26 points in a game, Newcastle. So 44, they'd be filthy with that. The other thing with Newcastle is, and I agree with you, Ham, like it is not a bad time to have one of those games. They fly to New Zealand this week to take on the Warriors. They got a bye in round 27. So this week is their last week before finals. So as much as I agree with you, the timing of it, with the context of the bye in round 27, might not be ideal.
We'll say, when you look at these stats, far out. So the Manly Seagulls gave away 8 penalties and had 5 ruck infringements compared to 3 penalties and 1 inside the 10.
Yeah, right. Fuck.
So it's not even like they got smacked on the. They actually Manly were the ones getting hammered in the penalty and the ruck infringements. Yeah, as I said, like I think you just got to remember the stage they're in, and yes, it's disappointing, and yes, it could have been far worse if those penalties hadn't been given away. But it's been a huge year. Even if they run out of puff at the back end of the year, I'm still actually okay when you consider where they came from. I know as a Knights fan, you're sitting there going, "We're 6. We've got such an opportunity to do something special," and I'm not saying ruling that out just yet. And I don't think you're premiership threats, but like maybe getting to a prelim. But at the same time, I think you got to remember how far this team has come in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, well, the reality for the Newcastle Knights is I think the worst place they can finish is 7th.
Which is like,
If at the start of the year you would have said they'll finish 7th, I think outside of if your name was Tom Yeager, you would have copped a lot of stick.
didn't Tom he say the spoon?
No, that was you blokes.
What didn't you say the spoon?
No, I was Nova cashing as fuck. Your mate Joey Johns. I backed him in up there in Newcastle.
What'd you spoon?
I tried to lie about it and say top 4 the other week, but it was top 8. I tried to like gloss it up, and then I was
You
like,
said
"Oh, they
top
can't
8.
make
And
top
what
8.
was your reasons, or you just clip farming as you always do?
Well, I thought I was like, if they get
Do
lucky,
you hear that giggle?
yeah,
Do you hear that?
he gets it.
That's
I mean,
a bit
he's
of
it.
a, I've
Yeah.
been seen.
I mean, he's it.
he
he's
gets it. Fuck. No, I thought if they got lucky with some injuries around like KP and Bradman Best, I also just thought that like with their forward pack, I knew it was really light on if they had a ton of injuries. But in saying that, all my reasoning for them doing so well, like it was still very optimistic, and I knew that. It was more just like I've been blown away by the way some of these guys in the forward pack have come on this year, and even some of the injuries they've been tested by, like it completely exceeded my expectations. Like it was definitely more clip farmy than it was astute analysis. I'm happy to wear that.
It's a clip farming based take.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. At least you can admit it. But yeah, so like, with the game, it's the first 20, you're sitting there going, wow, that's amazing. And then after that, you're sitting there going, what is doing? Now, I'm going to sound super harsh here because he actually, in attack, was great. 2 tries, 164 metres, 2 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, 2 line break assists. Defensively, though, Fletcher Hunt on the
Couldn't
edge
catch
there.
a break. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done defensively. And granted, he's been moved around so much, it's very hard for him to build a combination and get used to certain positions. But it is a real concern. They probably need to get Gagai back there. And Gagai is not necessarily the best defender either, but I've watched for multiple weeks now where that left edge just gets ripped apart.
Yeah, and you would assume Gags, if he doesn't play this week against the Warriors, the bye, you assume he'll be good for finals week 1.
Left edge, right edge. Am I getting it?
Gags plays right.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
But Fletcher Hunt played the
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right?
he played right centre, replacing
Yes,
Gags.
apologies.
They had Toby Winter that did it last week because
Yeah.
Bradman Best was out.
Yeah. I said left edge, I meant right edge. Apologies.
Yeah. I think there's every chance you'll see Toby Winter next year take that right centre spot. I think he'll get it over Fletcher Hunt.
And to be clear, it's not really a knock on Fletcher Hunt. This guy has played wing, fullback, centre. It's just a reality that he hasn't had enough time to settle into that position.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
What would you have done had Brown not got injured at the back end of this year? Like if you were assuming that he was in the halves, Fletcher Sharp's also in the halves. Is that the assumption? Like Sandon's the one that drops out?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you reckon Winter will get over Hunt?
Yeah, I reckon Winter will win that
Next year.
right spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the long-term plan.
Okay. Because the tough thing is for Fletcher Hunt, like what is his actual position?
I think it's fullback.
Yeah.
It's fullback?
Definitely fullback.
Does he have the ball playing for fullback?
I'll tell you what, a year ago I would have said no.
Yeah.
But the brief stints he got there this year, I'm pretty sure there was a period of time throughout this season where he'd actually jumped in front of Sharp as the replacement fullback, which I would have liked to have seen them persist with because
Sharp's a
you're
long-term
changing
six.
3 positions instead of 1.
Yeah, if you're all in on Sharp at 6, it's almost like forget the dream of him being fullback at this stage. KP seems committed, seems happy. KP had a bit of a quiet one. But yeah, look, so as I said, I'm willing to give him a bit of grace. Really keen to see how they respond against the Warriors. It's a tough ask, no doubt. But yeah, another one, I think Greg Marju, just a bit quiet, just need a bit more work. To be honest, when I look at some of these stats, it looks like a team that may be physically a little bit flat and maybe they've, at training, they've probably done a bit of extra work or whatever. Because like even KP, very rarely are there games where he's only had 14 runs, 136 metres. You look at Greg Marju, 11 runs, very uncharacteristic, only 101 metres. Dom Young, he had a day out. He had a couple of line breaks and looked good. So yeah, is what it is.
I think the other one they really missed was Manu Leilua, who's been enormous for them the last few weeks. He'll be back with a HIA this week.
Yep. Just getting into my notes. But outside of that, all done on that game. 2-6.
It's a pretty good opportunity to just get a crack at the Wars into a bye. If you can go over. Like, you're not going to get a tougher ask in finals in terms of occasion.
I think it's one of those games, if they win, it's unreal for them.
Yeah.
But I think if they lose and you're going 2 losses in a row into a bye into finals footy, that's where it gets a little bit murky.
It's going to take a lot of leadership to get them mentally up for that first game. Okay. On to the next game. Warriors v. the Rabbitohs. 45-26. And I do agree with the sentiments of Webster of the 26 points. You know, you're a bit disappointed with that if you're a premiership threat. However, still, we saw some of the best footy from some of the big fellas that you'll ever see. So I'll start with, this is the KO can't miss, because the skill level of these forwards is a joke. So I'll start with just the top surface level. Just Barnett's athletic put down alone. Like that's a front row chasing that, getting it just before the deadline. But that was the easiest one of the lot. Then you've got Lecker. He outjumps Dufty for a try from a bomb.
A lot of arseless chaps about that.
So Lecker outjumps Dufty for a try from a bomb. Like, we're talking about a guy that could play 13 in the middle. He could play front row. Then you got Vaimunga tip on to Itamaya Toavoa, and then the flick pass from Itamaya as well. That is just, we're talking about 2 guys that are like 110 kilos that can play in the front row, ball playing like they're halfbacks. It is insane. And then on top of that, you got Vaimunga catching the bomb over Dufty. He offloads the ball with a flick pass to Laban, and then Laban throws a 20-metre left-to-right cutout pass for the Dallin Watene-Zalesniak try. I've just named you 4 or 5 different front row forwards at times. Now, Laban plays on the edge at the moment, but he could play in the middle, that have like, if you did that once in a season, it'd be a big deal. These guys are doing it every week. I'd argue the skill set of these forwards, there's no other forward pack even close with what they can do with the ball. It's absolutely incredible. And we saw it all in one game. Multiple, like flick passes, tip-ons, cutout balls, catching bombs. Tell me another forward pack that you see that happen in.
There isn't another one.
It's amazing. I genuinely, it's almost like the perfect forward is being developed down there. And it's not just one, it's like 5 of them.
Bit of Tigers 05 pack about that ball play. Todd Payton.
Take off about 10 kilos off each one of them.
Yeah. We paved the way so the Warriors boys could carve it up now.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that was a Tigers-based win, that one.
You're welcome.
Spiritual spoon.
But yeah.
You suck. You guys suck.
You put us in a rebuild in round 25. Thanks.
Hopefully they're still in the comp for a couple of years.
Just knock out punch and move on. Nice segue.
If there's any team going, it's that one.
Training too hard.
Train too hard.
How is it down there in 14th?
How is it out of the comp in a couple of years?
Oh, no, we're still in the comp,
Thoughts on the Warriors forward back route?
You done?
Yes.
That's disappointing. Yeah.
Not as done as the Broncos, but yeah.
I believe we're going to see Jackson forward back finals week 1 is the aim as well.
That's crazy.
Which is huge.
Just like insane that you could have their form forward come back into the side with all these forwards doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and I mean, even if he doesn't come back finals week 1, if they win week 1 over there in New Zealand, which I love them.
Well, at the moment, they don't leave New Zealand until a grand final.
Great, yeah.
If they win.
If they win that first prelim, if they win that first semi-final, they are going to be the first time in New Zealand Warriors history they don't get in a plane for 6 weeks. It's unbelievable. They're like it. The way it has landed is perfect for the Warriors to launch, apart from playing musical chairs at halfback, obviously, but just the way that it's all sort of worked out it's a golden opportunity for them. And yeah, these forwards are unreal. I mean, we've wrapped all these guys all year, but it's EIT coming off the bench. He just looks fucking sensational.
Like the fact that, 6 weeks ago, now obviously us Nuffies, we know all these players, but the wider audience wouldn't even really know who EIT is. And then you fast forward 5 weeks in a forward pack that already has guys that are doing things that no other forward pack can do. He comes out and plays the best of the lot.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
There was also at one point they flashed down to the bench and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, who the fuck is that? Like Leia Towers sitting there as well, who could probably also be an elite back rower if he wanted
100% he could. He's huge. He is huge.
Obviously, whoever it is, you're going to do it via phone call because fuck doing it in person. But who would drop out for forward right now, if you had to say?
At this stage, it'd probably be Iramaya, Tovaya,
I think it would be, yes.
which is crazy.
Do you do that? Like Ford was their best player at the start of the
Vaimangi
year.
you can't drop. Lecky's in the centres, but you can't drop him. Stoward Smith has been. We didn't even mention Stoward Smith when we were just talking.
I think
he's
it's
been the best.
Yeah, I think it's.
Can you drop any of them? But I reckon EIT, especially the last couple of weeks, I reckon he's put himself in that category too. Like, which is I know it's fucked because like Ford's probably earned the right to
But
come back in.
who do you drop? Stoward Smith?
I don't know if you do. Like if they're humming, if
Waimunga?
they win the minor premiership.
Are you saying Jackson Ford
But
doesn't
you've
come
got to
back
bring
in?
Ford into the side.
Well, I assume so, right?
I
Like,
think
he
it's
earned that at the
Stoward
start of the year.
Smith or EIT. I think it'll be one
That
of those
is so fucked that one of them drops out though.
Yes, it's insane.
Great,
It
yes.
is insane. We spoke about it before, but we might be looking at the first ever Mana plus Mahi based premiership. Mana and Mahi premiership.
Together
That's
at
incredible.
last.
Finally, well, I mean, it's been together for a while, but we're seeing it come to the fore, the Mana and the Mahi. Mana plus Mahi equals premiership in 26, I think, for the Warriors.
That would be huge.
Because they just scored 45 points on their fourth string halfback
Musical chairs.
against
who
a
would win?
team that is desperate to win every single game.
Yeah.
It is insane. 45 rugby league points with Harris Tavita at 7. Insane.
What about Dallin with an busted shoulder before
yeah.
this moment, putting the ball down with his left hand in the right corner and then having to come from the field? Like,
Mental.
wild.
And again, it's just that mental toughness that they've instilled into this roster. That they're already doing super well. They're in the top. They were sitting third at the time. Does he need to play busted? He doesn't, but he needs to make that try so he makes it happen. I can't say enough good things about this Warriors side. It looks like Lecker's probably going to stay in that centre position. I can't believe he's become almost like a bomb specialist. Just insane. But outside of that, what is there to say? It's incredible. What about Fish and Barnett in the first half? I think they had a try each, had already ran for 175 metres together. We just went through all those incredible plays from forwards. We didn't even mention their two best forwards, which is Fish and Barnett.
Yeah, they can beat you in just so many ways. And that's if you stop just a complete power game.
Yeah.
You know, like it's unbelievable.
It's just,
Love as well, like Aaron Clark played 38 minutes in this game.
Yeah, just said, yep, all good. All good. Only I guess, I mean, it's been a concern for a while, but Pompey's edge defence, whether it's, just him alone, but there was quite a few tries down that edge.
Did anyone find it strange they made that change?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised.
Like I was sitting here 6 weeks ago with Leia Tower sort of saying how much he's struggled. I think he's been really good the last 6 weeks. I'm surprised that was the call they made.
Well, I felt like they kind of landed on like out of the pecking order. Pompey was the guy with the most efficiency defensively, so Leia Tower's our guy. Is it to maybe get more runs under his belt just in case we need him for finals? Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
Strange
doesn't
one.
make a heap of sense to me.
Very, very strange one for me. Is it goal kicking? Did he goal kick?
No, the fullback goal kicked.
Tuapiki.
Yep.
Speaking of the fullback,
It's
how
7
good
from
is
7, by the way.
Tuapiki. Again, 1 week Chance is fullback, Tuapiki's fullback. They're sweet.
Yep.
Like we talk so much about having to build combinations. They went into this game like 2 weeks ago. Chance was a fullback. Luke Metcalf was a 7. Harris Tavita was a 6, and then you had Wade Egan. In this game, at one stage when Egan got taken off early, you had Sam Healy. You had Harris Tavita at 7. You had what's the young fella's name at 6?
Hanson
at 6, and Tuapiki. Like that's a totally different spine. The whole spine.
Question for the panel. Luke Hanson kicks the field goal late.
gun.
Did they know? Because they are now first on the ladder because
1
of that
point.
field goal by 1 point.
Well, Webster did say every point's going to matter.
Yep.
So I'm assuming he wants that minor premiership desperately.
If they
Mana
have had
premiership.
Mana
It's a minor
Mahi
premiership,
based,
I tell you. Mahi premiership.
If they have like 203 different spine combinations and then win a minor premiership and it's by a field goal, that might be the best rugby league thing.
And it's by the guy the furthest away from getting
Yes.
Like seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, someone from New Zealand's calling me right now. They're calling me right now.
Yora.
They can feel the mana. They can feel the mana. They can feel the Mahi.
Take it.
We'll see what it is. Hello, Dennis speaking.
It's Jake Cleary.
No, it's just a bloody.
Oh, it's not Jake Cleary.
extended. They couldn't handle the mana. Flying through my veins. There you go. Well, that's my children and my mother. Not my mother, sorry, my wife.
Their mother.
Yeah, their mother.
massive distinction to make there. Yeah.
It's a lot from a cowboy out.
A lot going on. I fucking got Manly having in this. It's just a lot going on.
He's a manner.
Okay. And that was all proudly brought to you by KO, the only place you watch every game of every round with no ad breaks during play. He's on Fox League, available on KO. Rabbitohs, boys. I just think that they're getting kind of what they deserve in regards to they have been up and down all season. Yes, I know they've got injuries or whatever. And yes, I know that they're also down to, say, their fourth string fullback, but they just can't stay in games. I'm trying to think of a single time where maybe the Dogs game last week where I've said that's an 80-minute performance. Outside of that, I haven't seen it. I just don't think they have the standards yet to make a real push this year.
Yep, completely agree. I think they can upset a team finals week 1. I don't think they can do it 2 weeks in a row, though, South Sydney, realistically. I'll tell you what, if I told you Latrell Mitchell was at left centre and this was his stat sheet, 1 try, 121 run metres, 2 line breaks, 3 line break assists, 2 try assists, 4 tackle breaks, you go, that's the most Latrell game of all time.
Yeah.
It's Tallis Duncan having a go at left centre again.
Yeah.
He's a freak. He is a genuine freak with... Huddy Young injured. Huddy Young.
Coming from China. He's the Chinese version of Hudson.
The Chinese back row.
Oh, jeez. I had that in vision for content as well. That went well.
Huddy Young. He's a beast on the edge here, Huddy Young.
With him out, Dill Lucas gone.
Jaina.
Mandarin Madness down the left edge, yeah.
I think Tully Dunks could come into calculations for the Kangaroos at the end of the year.
I think he should be in the squad, and
Should
I
be in the
also
squad.
think the longer that he doesn't get re-signed, the more scared I think someone's putting together a massive offer for him, like $1 million or something like that. I know that sounds insane, but with all this talk about Hudson Young around the $1 million mark and all these clubs that need gun back rowers, like he is a freak. Can play centre, can play back row. Actually came through as a 13 as well. Like, you're going to have to open the checkbook for him. And I know that at the moment he's probably going to get paid a little bit overs, but that's just, he's got such a good resume now. It's hard not to pay him fucking what he's worth.
But
He
even
used to play 13 growing up with you in the same team. So
yeah, and we still used to win somehow. So it says how good he is. But I mean, if you're the Chiefs, you could sign him and not decide what position you want to play him at until 2028 if you wanted to.
How much
You know
is
what I
he
mean?
worth on the open market, boys? What do you reckon?
With
Considering how he's 24,
yep.
he is red hot prime heading into the best part of his career.
We said it a few weeks ago. If the $1 million mark's getting thrown around for Fainu at the West Tigers, I would pay Tallis $1 million before I would pay Fainu personally.
I honestly right now anything him and Jacob Preston, I think 800k.
Yeah, I think 8s. Yeah.
I think anything less than 800k for a guy like Tallis Duncan that can play multiple positions like he can. I could understand Jacob Preston like 750 because the Bulldogs have got salary cap pressures, but with Tallis Duncan, granted everyone has salary cap pressure. I just think he's such when you look at some of those stats, you're going, those are Latrell Mitchell stats, and he's playing out of position.
But also, like if you're Souths and it's like he's played both sides centre, both sides back row. He's actually a 13. If it's like 900 ish or lose him to like the Chiefs, like surely you do just go overs.
I think you have to because just who do you have there at the moment that is going to be a strike edge for them?
Well,
there's just no one there at the moment for them. Like they need a strike edge that. And I know it's tough because Murray would be on $1 million, deservedly so. He's still the best forward in the team, but I just think that you'd be desperate to keep him. You lose a guy like Tallis Duncan, and all of a sudden you start looking at that forward pack going. I understand Payne Haas is arriving, so that's why maybe you could get him for around the 750 to 800 mark and say, mate, with Payne here, give us a couple of years, see what we can do. But I just think there are a lot of other clubs that would throw a lot of money at him, a lot of money. I know we can't, but at the Broncos, I'd kill for him.
Just had a look at AJ's season as well. I'm pretty sure since Tallis has played left centre, he has scored 9 tries in 6 games outside him.
And he's a forward. He's genuinely an edge back rower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also I think most people would argue David Fafita, at his best, is better. I reckon the more that Tallis, I know he's playing centre at the moment, but the more that Tallis plays just week in, week out, you throw in that he's consistent. But even just if you were to go upside alone, I know they're different players, but I actually lean more towards Tallis than a David
It's
Fafita.
becoming a serious argument.
Yeah, I don't think it's too outrageous to say that because like some of the stats for his games have been crazy at centre.
Yeah.
Crazy. So I hope they can get a deal done at the Rabbitohs because I really feel like, honestly, like let's say Hudson Young says to PNG, I'll only come for $1 million, and Tallis Duncan says I'll come for $750. I'm going Tallis Duncan for $750
For that, yeah.
Definitely.
He's incredible. He's incredible. I hope Rabbitohs can keep him though. Thoughts on the Rabbitohs, mate? What's going on there?
Yeah, they're very up and down, aren't they? Just, 1 week they can, just about knock anybody off. The next week they're, I don't know, just their own worst enemy a little bit. I think, for me, I still believe that probably pending Latrell coming back into the team. I know he's been named on the extended a couple of weeks in a row and hasn't played, but if he comes on, and does feature in one of these finals games, the Rabbitohs are in a similar spot for me, maybe a little bit of a rung below to the Dolphins. They could upset one or two teams or be a bit of a headache in the finals. I don't think they're a real threat this year. I don't think they can put enough good, solid games together. But, this was just one of their down weeks. We saw last week they were pretty good against the Dogs. Pretty much that was basically a finals game. Whoever won that, I think, was going to make the 8. So, I don't know. They'd been up for a couple and they'll probably due based on their form this season to be down for one. Warriors just a bit too good for them. But they still found some points, still managed to put a few on the board. But defensively, I think some of the better teams can pick them apart.
Matty, 2 questions. And I know you don't have a mic, so I'll relay them. How much is Tallis Duncan worth to you? 900. Second question. Should Dufty be your fullback or should Dry Gray be your fullback? So 2 answers that he gave was Tallis Duncan is worth 900 and also Jai Gray should be the fullback. I feel like Wayne's dug himself into a bit of a hole here because can you afford to drop him this close to finals footy?
Probably not.
But it's a liability. It's happened multiple times, whether it's his defence or catching high balls, letting stuff bounce. And I know Campbell Graham probably could have got to that as well, but you've got to be dominant. You've got to go towards that stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry? Well, like the thing with Sullivan though, it's not his job to catch that ball. It really, the winger, when that goes up, a confident winger says and he goes. He just goes for it. If he fucking drops it, he drops it. At least, this is what Wayne always used to say to me is like, at least you went for it and you didn't we let the ball bounce, you don't know what's going to happen. Whereas if you go up for it and drop it, it usually drops around where you are. And I just think in that situation, it either had to be Dufty or Campbell Graham that just went after it. And I understand Sullivan was closest to it, but it's just not his job. It's not his job to catch that ball. And I do believe Campbell Graham or Dufty, if they had got on their bike as soon as it went up, I reckon they could have got there.
Yeah, absolutely. I also think with how much Cody's creating for him at the moment, given it's not like Jai's not creative. I know the main distinction between the two has been Dufty's ball playing. I think they're going to find themselves in the finals. They're either going to come up against the Sharks or the Knights week 1. I think having the more reliable one defensively is probably more important. So I think you can trust that Cody, and even if Latrell's back by then, you're going to have enough creativity elsewhere, in my opinion.
Well, initially that was the whole reason because Cody was out, so they put Dufty at fullback.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it's stuck there.
I'd be changing it.
We expect Control to play this week?
Yeah. I hope he can get through the year, but I don't know. I'm not confident. I still am just yeah.
You got to get some minutes into him for finals if you're
Yeah.
going to plan to throw any punches.
Yeah. Okay, on to the next game. Doggies defeat the Dragons 44-14. 44-14. Good performance from the Doggies. It's a mixture of 2 things. I thought the Doggies were quite good. I also thought the Dragons were quite poor. But the Bushranger Battler of the Week is brought to you by Bushranger Power Equipment. Tough, reliable gear built for hard-working Aussies, whether you're on the tools, on the land, or sorting the backyard on the weekend. Bushranger is built to get the job done. Now let's get into this week's Battler. It's actually Lockie Galvin. It's Lockie Galvin. And I know he's been the easy punching bag for Doggies fans, and I get it the whole way Tigers left. I understand all that. But me personally, when you're talking about blokes just having a dig week in, week out, regardless of how the Dogs have been going, Lockie Galvin's been at the top of the list. I haven't watched any game this year where I said he hasn't had a crack. And I just want to give him credit for he would have the world of pressure on his shoulders, and he just keeps turning up, keeps turning up. There's all this talk, including from me, about is he a 7, is he a 6, all that stuff. And he just keeps turning up and ripping in. And so he is our battler of the week. And I thought this was probably the best game he's had all year. I thought he was quite good.
Yeah, right up there. I think the thing with Galvin, exactly to what you alluded to, mate. You might not like him. You might not agree with some of his decisions. I don't agree with some of his decisions, but effort can never be questioned.
No.
The kid is always fucking trying.
Yeah. And he didn't select himself at 7.
He didn't. And I reckon he knows himself. He's probably not a halfback as well, but he's just doing the best that he can, and he's running the football. He's doing what he needs to do. He doesn't hide away in defence. As much as I don't respect some of the things or the way he's gone about things before, you can't not respect how he plays the game.
And also, like, this is a 20-year-old. Most 20-year-olds would crumble under the pressure that whether he places it on himself or whoever you want to blame. The fact is he has pressure on his shoulder that most people have never even gone near.
Exactly. And, I mean, if you want to find a 20-year-old that's made silly decisions, go
way
look in a
worse
mirror.
than
like,
that.
Fuck, like, we've all done it. Like,
And look, to be fair, I'll never... I don't agree with the way it all went about, but his concerns were probably pretty founded when you look at where the Tigers are at right now and what's happening.
I mean, he
last
hasn't
year.
turned out to be wrong, I don't think.
Yeah, so it's like, although I don't agree with the method of it all and everything, it's not like he was completely unreasonable in his concern of the direction the club was heading in at the time. But yeah,
Thoughts, Ham?
Hey,
Thoughts?
go Tigers.
but I do respect. I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 20-year-olds with the amount of pressure he's had on his back, there's no way that they crumble. They crumble, and he is somehow, some way, they're still in the fight to make the 8. He played really, really good on the weekend. I do admire that. I thought he was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, until July, he couldn't have even had a beer in the US. Like, he's fucking young as, to your point. And when you got older people in your rear and sort of looking after you, like, I think you'd be crazy not to put more of the responsibility of what happened at your club on those people as opposed to him. And I think, like, even this whole year, and, I know they've probably ended up closer to the 8 than what a lot of us thought they would have 8 weeks ago. He's been in your top 3 best players every week, like, regardless of the result, pretty much. Even on the weeks where people bag him, like, he's probably run for over 100 meters, or he's had a hand in a couple of tries. Like, even that little trick play, that inside ball to Tracy that he put together with Karaz, like, watching those two play, and it's like, fuck, like, what, you're lowballing Karaz, but you're gonna keep persisting that Galvin has to wear the 7 on his back, and even though he's producing all these things, you still cop a lot
Preston,
of
you
shit.
mean? You mean Preston?
Sorry, Preston.
Yep.
Yeah. But, like, watching those two link up, you're insisting that you're going to make Galvin play 7, long term and whatever, put him under all that pressure. You're lowballing Preston. They're sort of your 2 main guys, and then you got Critter on that other edge. Like,
Let's talk about it, boys. So reports were about $650 that he's been offered from the Bulldogs. Gets out to the media, and then Serraldo, put his thoughts forward that he was, I'm summing it up here, but a little bit frustrated that people around Preston, I guess, had got that information out there. And, I guess he was also frustrated at the idea that Jacob Preston felt disrespected and all that kind of stuff. And really reiterated the fact that Preston loves the club and doesn't feel disrespected. He's happy. So, look, I guess it's 2 things. Like, look, I get where he's coming from. People talking for Preston, saying he felt disrespected. I think if he's not, that's not fair on the club. So I agree with Serraldo there. But, I mean, this is the problem. When you be aggressive as they were in moving players on last year, this is why you've got to strike such a fine balance, because then when you do what they did last year and they move players on, and look, they've got the right to do that. They're doing what's best for Bulldogs or what they think. But when you then ask a player, take unders to stay, it's very hard to convince them that there is a push and throw when it comes to loyalty between players. And so I'm quite surprised that they're not surprised, but they're are taken aback at the way this is all kind of unfolded, because to expect Preston to even accept or come near a $650K deal and sign for less to stay loyal to the Dogs, I think it's like, what's the word? I think it's audacious. Put it that way. It's pretty audacious.
I think it's a little bit disrespectful, if I'm honest. Like, he's been their best player in the last 2 years, I would say. Like, we're talking about him as like
future
captain, a future Origin player, all that sort of stuff. Like, yeah, I just think especially with the Perths and the PNGs floating around, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to say it's a little bit disrespectful. I more meant like people that are saying Preston felt disrespected if it's not true that he did feel disrespected. You know what I mean? I think they're a bit frustrated that the story was getting out that Preston felt angry at the club when he's not angry at the club. But yeah, I agree with you, mate. It's when he's talking about captain of the club,
Yeah.
$650K. I mean, like I know it sounds like a lot of money, but in today's cap, that is not that much money.
No, it's not. No.
I would fall over if he doesn't feel disrespected. Like, obviously, he was never going to be the guy that's going to go in front of a press conference and be like, I feel disrespected. I'm sure he would. Like, he's a fantastic bloke, I'm sure.
Well, according to Raldo, no way. Not he's
Of course,
happy.
the club's going to say that. I mean, the other aspect of this, he goes there as a guy who just wants an opportunity, right? And I think for a long time, maybe 2 seasons, it was like, okay, well, he feels like he has to repay that favour. That was 3 or 4 years ago now. And to your point, Rue, like, he's been probably their best, or at least top 3 best players the last 2 seasons. He's helped rebuild that club. Like, not just people outside the club, but people inside the club have also thrown him up as the idea of a future captain. Like, it is really disrespectful, in my opinion, to lowball him like that.
You know what I can't get with it is like they say, oh, you know, we money in the cap and we got kick out, we got this. Like, you knew this was coming up. So why extend those players? If, like, out of the 2, I think you prioritise Preston over kick out. Even though kick out has a higher ceiling and can do things that Preston probably can't. Preston has far more consistent impact on their game, in my opinion, than kick out does. And that's coming from someone that thinks kick out really is a vital part of their plans. But if you have to choose between the two, like extending one player and giving him a fair deal, I think Preston should be one of the top priorities.
Yeah, very fair. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're comparing a guy who's like a real role player and just sort of gets through his work and then kick out. Like, kick out is a freak.
Yeah,
Some of the
freak.
moments he's put together over his career are unbelievable. Same as Preston, though. Like, they're not that far apart that it's like, based on age, availability over the last few years, consistency over the last few years, it doesn't make it any sense at all, to me at least, that you would prioritise kick out.
Just before we do move on, you mentioned Lockie Galvin earlier. I was just having a look at some numbers. So Lockie Galvin, he is 21 years of age. Ethan Strange is 22. And you look at the pressure on both of these guys, the media attention. Galvin gets heaps more. Galvin's played 22 games this year. Ethan Strange has played 20. Ethan Strange has scored 6 tries. Galvin has scored 8. Ethan Strange has had 2 forced dropouts. Galvin's had 21. Ethan Strange has had 9 try assists. Galvin has had 14. Ethan Strange has had 10 line break assists. Galvin has had 18. Galvin has made 200 more tackles than Ethan Strange this year at a better percentage as well. And, you know, Ethan Strange, I think we'd all agree, the best asset in his game is his running game. He's averaging 74 run meters this year. Galvin's at 118.
Yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me at all. I think Galvin has ripped and teared this year. I think that he's the easy punching bag because of how everything happened. But if he has had a red hot crack, and at times, yes, we get it. It's been quite monotonous in attack and creativity or whatever. But I think he's been one of their best players. I really do.
Yeah. And probably the big thing coming out of that is that Galvin is the halfback for the Canterbury Bulldogs. Ethan Strange is the 5'8". Like, the Bulldogs have got one more win than Canberra still.
Yeah.
But like, based on the narratives of this year and how it's played out for Galvin, how much shit he seems to cop every single week, I do think he does get a little bit unfairly targeted.
I think so. I think he's an easy out. Like, he's an easy excuse as to why we're not going well. And look, that doesn't mean I don't think he's a 6. Like, I do think he's a 6, but again, he didn't put the 7 on his back. He's ripped and teared all season long. Every single game he's had a crack. But when they lose, just point the finger at the guy that already has something that we can get angry at instead of, you know, the person that made errors or the person that didn't, you know, this, that, and next thing. So outside of that, in regards to the Bulldogs performance, boys, who stood out for you? A little bit, not shocked, but Tuala gets left out. Bronson Sherry comes in and rips. I guess a little bit surprised at that when you consider Sherry on the way out.
I do not understand why they do this to Tuala every 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know how
I find
helps
it
them.
fucking bizarre. Especially, once again, as you just said, for a guy that is leaving. You kicked up a stink about him not being defensively good enough, all this sort of stuff. You let him go to another club. You've re-signed Tuala. Why, when your season is on the line, do you make that call?
So weird.
Yeah, strange. Honestly, the one club where the selections are the most strange is the Bulldogs, probably. It's the Bulldogs. Preston, a try, assist, 14 runs, 114 metres, 45 post contact, 2 tackle breaks, a line break, line break assist, 2 offloads, and then you've got on the Max King, he also had a big game, Matty Burton, I think he's actually been quite good once since moved into centres. I think that's like if he has a really creative 7 inside him, he can play 6. But I think it's become pretty evident if he doesn't have that, he's more suited at centre.
Yep, agreed. I think Jamin Summers having a really good finish to the season as well.
Yeah,
He's
been
really
good
good
back
5
end.
6 weeks.
Anything new, mate, on the Bulls?
Connor Tracy, handy in this game. He's had a couple of maybe quieter weeks, but got involved. Line break assist, a line break and a try assist, and it was a handful. Ran the footy pretty well. So I thought this was a good game for him too.
Okay, look, with the Dragons, just a disappointing affair. And look, I'd expect this of a young team that's trying to pull it all together. The hardest thing in the NRL is consistency, and you get that with age. So I'm not going to be too harsh. I've been really happy with the way they've carried themselves the last month or so.
Yeah, I think the way that they've played over the last few weeks, they've really got themselves up and about. There was a period of time there where every week looked like this for the Dragons. So if this is once a 5 or 6 weeks performance for them, I can sort of live with that at the moment. I think it's just eyes on next year for me with St. George.
Yeah, unfortunately, again, Val Holmes, couple of key errors which don't help. I did think Matthew Finai, mate, I thought he was outstanding. Like 21 runs, 230 metres, 57 post contact, 3 tackle breaks, 3 line breaks, 5 tackles, 0 misses, 0 errors. I thought Dean Atkinson was really poor, unfortunately. I think he made like 5 errors. I think you stick with him because it's good to know that you've got that backup. Let's say if Drinky gets injured next year. But he was, for a guy that was so good last week, he wasn't great this week.
Yeah, I do. There is part of me that feels a little bit sorry for Atkinson. Like I like him as a fullback, but you can talk more about it, Kempy. But I would imagine a preseason getting yourself ready to be halfback compared to fucking fullback.
Mate, it's like, it's night and day. Like to expect a guy just to go back there and like know how to catch bombs under pressure and all that kind of stuff. Organised defence. It's a big ask. It's a big ask. Anyway, Dragons. I'm still happy with them though. Okay, on to next game. Sharks defeat the Titans 30-22. Every Sharkies fan just went, oh, fuck. Because that was a close one.
Yeah.
That was closer than it needed to be. The first half, you're sitting there going, my God, what are we about to witness? I don't know what to say about the Sharkies. If I'm being honest now, they'll make the finals, obviously. They might even beat a team or so, but I think their season might have ended with that Trindle injury.
I'm leaning towards the same.
Mine's second half was great. He was incredible second half. A couple of big try assists or whatever. But with Trindle coming back in such a short amount of time after having a dislocated shoulder, I don't think he's going to be at his best. And I just think he's too big a piece of the puzzle.
I do remember sort of sitting here around the same point last year when Cam McInnes got injured and just thinking, okay, that's Cronulla done. They're done. They won't be able to hold their fists up come finals time. They went into finals looking a little bit shaky from memory last year. When they got to finals, they played some great footy. They knocked over the Roosters week 1. They beat the Raiders in week 2 and then narrowly got defeated by the Melbourne Storm in week 3. But I can't buy these stocks anymore, boys. I've done it the last few weeks. I've lent in and they disappoint you every single time. So I'm going in with very low expectations for the Sharkies, and if they surprise me, I'll thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, to be honest. They're so hard to catch. They're so hard to go. What do you reckon, mate?
Well, yeah, if they were somehow able, like if the Dolphins would have dropped their last 2 games, if they snuck into the 4, might be a little bit different. If they were able to put together a really good performance that first week to go the long way when no one's ever really done it before, I don't respectfully think they're going to be the team to do it. But it is really disappointing because I think they did show this year, in my opinion, more so than any of these last few years. Their peak this year for mine was the best we've seen from them. And at their peak, they were genuine premiership contenders. And I think, that Trindle injury probably is going to come back to haunt them because, it's taken them 3 or 4 years to find that balance between the two halves. And they were both humming and it was just flowing. So now that, and as you said before, Hines steps up, throws 2 mad cutout passes, one either side to set up those 2 tries, had a real good hand in it. It's just, I don't know if they're going to have enough in the tank to throw punches at these big sides. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, and we also remember, and granted, maybe Hines will step up and rip, but it was Trindle that ripped in that final series last year.
Yep.
We'll see. I want it to be true. I definitely want them to be okay. It just, they were going so well. They were going so well, and then an innocuous ball put down. It's like, You'd almost rather him not get that try, just so that his shoulder was sweet.
You give that try back every day of the week.
Oh,
yeah,
far
every day
out.
of the week.
But hopefully they're okay. But at the moment, I just can't see it. But we'll see.
I've got a feeling they're going to scrape into the 4.
Okay.
So they're 1 win behind the Dolphins. The Dolphins have got the Roosters this weekend. I wonder whether the Roosters bounce back, win that game. They've got a better for and against than the Dolphins as well. So the Sharks are on home. They got the Eels and then they got the Storm. I reckon they can win both of those games and somehow find themselves in there. I feel like they're in for maybe a bit of a hiding if they, those 3 teams in the top 4 are probably a cut above them. But I don't know. You just don't know. Once you get into the top 4, stuff can happen. But
See, if they make the top 4, that gives him an extra week to recover. They get an extra shot at the premiership. So that could change a little bit, I guess. Yeah.
But yeah, badly timed injury because they definitely were looking like.
Is it Dally M6 of the year? All agree?
Tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah, off the dome.
I think easy. For me, he's easy. Like I'd have Harris DeVito in the race, but for me, it's a Trindle.
Oh, yeah, Harris DeVito probably. He's been pretty damn good.
Have you seen his stats, Tricky Trindle?
Hey, Trindle still leading the competition for try assists. Yeah, I think you would probably go Trick.
Man, I'd go Trindle. He's been fucking so good, especially this back into the year.
From a ladder point of view, it has worked out well for them that the Roosters are playing the Dolphins this week.
Yep.
That's perfect. And yeah, they go Parramatta. I think the Melbourne game, they're having like a 10-year reunion that afternoon for the 2016 Premiership. So they should be up and about for that one.
Yep.
Surely. So yeah, top 4 not out of their reach. If they go to New Zealand or to Penrith, Trindle's not there. I can't.
Okay. Titans, look, I'll be quick with this, but the most I liked about it was that obviously their first half, but just at the end there, I know the game was done, and the second half they got dominated. So the second half stats for the Sharks were 67% possession. They completed 18 from 19. They were tackled 37 times inside the half of the Titans. They ran for 711 metres and they missed 4 tackles, compared to 33% possession, 6 from 9 completions, 6 tackles in opposition's half, 270 metres run, 30 missed tackles. But what I did like is right at the end, I think it was Sharpley, gets back on side, and then Subbenton gets out of dummy half, does a little nice kick. It was good to see some young guys that are on the fringes of first grade that are about to come in, just show a bit of something about them, There's something about those boys.
Yeah, and there's definitely talent up there. There's no doubt about that. I think we've got to give Hannay obviously a bit more time to mould that squad together. But the thing that stood out for me from the week, what happened in the last 10 days that made them realise, AJ Brimson, we'll let him go now?
I think it just got to a point where they thought they could make it work and they just couldn't. It's like any coach. Every coach thinks they can make it work until they...
It just frustrates me. We've been talking about how this isn't working with AJ Brimson for 3 years. It just seems like a bizarre time. And maybe there's an opportunity for him to go and join a Perth or a PNG or something like that. Geez, I'd be very interested if Perth could nab him to be their fullback. I'd be very interested.
On the Dogs, I'm ringing.
I'd
like him at the Dogs. I reckon he'd kill it at the Dogs.
It's a good shout, actually. Yeah.
But, outside of that, Philip Sammy does what he does at best, 255 metres. I think Tino's been great back into the season.
Nice for Sammy to break that record as well before getting out of there.
Yeah, that was cool.
Absolutely.
I love Sami crowning himself in the corner. Heck, I'm
good.
heaps into that.
Yeah.
So good.
I love Phil Sami.
Same.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be great for the Dragons. I really do. But yeah, look, they just need to get through the year and another year under the new regime and find their feet. Okay. On to the last game of the round. The West Tigers defeat the Roosters 25-24. Honestly, this was an incredible performance from the West Tigers. Their defence was some of the best I've seen all season. It's not like the Roosters didn't have opportunities. The Tigers had to hold on for dear life, and they did exactly that. In a period of it's just so dire, you don't know what's happening, for them to pull this all together, it's good because it shows the roster is still playing for Benji. It shows also, I love their game plan of getting at the 3-man of the Roosters quite regularly with Fainu. I think that's a very clear blueprint for other teams when they play the Roosters is get to that 3-man. You'll either get a quick play the ball or get a line break. This is incredible from the West Tigers. Absolutely incredible. And yes, there are still probably concerns, behind the scenes or whatever. But I'm amazed. And that's why they're the Liquorland legendary moment of the week. It is guys like Samuela Fainu who put on a masterclass. I thought he was outstanding. The big question is I guess what happens in regards to re-signing him. And obviously Jock Madden, that field goal, it's now the second top tier team that he has sunk, I think, with a field goal or a try. Amazing performance. So I just want to give Benji and the whole team a big wrap. I'm stoked for Tigers fans. I'm absolutely stoked. And this is all brought to you by Liquorland. And this is the Liquorland legendary moment of the week. Serve up the ultimate at home occasion with a side of legendary drinks from Liquorland, whether you're stocking up for the week ahead or cooking for a full house. Liquorland has the perfect drinks to match. Now let's get into our legendary moment, which is obviously the Tigers win, Jock Madden field goal, and Fainu's incredible performance. Now, guys, a legendary country deserves a legendary bottle shop. From city streets to coastal towns, Liquorland are here for every kind of Aussie moment. From the big birthdays to the unexpected Friday knockoffs and everything in between. As the weather warms up and we start getting into finals footy, Liquorland has you covered. Whatever the reason, whatever the occasion, Liquorland will bring the drinks. Choose to drink wise. I'll go to you first, Tammy. Thoughts on the performance?
A famous win, this one. Obviously, we know how much of a mismatch it was in terms of the odds. $1.05, I think, for the Roosters. 05, maybe that was the omen that we all missed. The Tigers about $10. And watching this game, when Alex Twal was taken off the field in the first minute, I went, okay, here we go.
Yep.
This is just going to be one of those days. But I think it showed so much ticker because he's such an important part of our team. So much, we rely on him for so much of our defence through the middle, leadership, all that sort of stuff. It was at Twalians as well. But for him to go off and then the boys to still kind of rally and do it. Terrell May, who was going to come off the bench in this game, he obviously came on and he got through a lot of work. I thought he was outstanding when he came onto the field. Pole was amazing as well. And, Seyfarth, all those big fellas really led from the front, didn't get bullied or overawed by the Roosters pack, who's been pretty good in the last few weeks. And then things just, I don't know, Jock Madden earlier in the year when he came into the side and started playing 7, it was amazing just like having a more traditional, conventional number 7 who can kind of set things up a little bit.
Stick to a game plan as well.
Got a good kicking game. On the 5th tackle, the ball goes to him and he can just organise stuff. I thought he was outstanding as well. So, it really took me back to that round 2 to 8 kind of period where we were humming, things all, fell into place. And it was great watching it, but I was like, why couldn't we didn't need to have it every week, but why couldn't we have a few more weeks of this through the year? Because, when they're on, there's enough quality in there to kind of, challenge these top teams and, to beat them on their home ground when they're on top of the ladder and all that sort of stuff. I thought it was a pretty proud win for the boys.
Absolutely. And I think the thing with Jock Madden is, at least for Benji Marshall, I feel like he's going to be the best to execute a game plan, a conservative 7 that knows how to play that. Whereas like Dewey, sometimes you can look at his stats and he'll have 200 run meters and you think, oh, what a great game. But his role as a 7 is to execute a game plan. And sometimes because he's so competitive and he's just trying to win every single play, you can stray a little bit away from it. And Luai is similar. When Luai plays 7, he can tend to do like not as much, but a similar thing. Now, I felt like he was good last year in setting up Galvin when he needed to, but this year at 7 he kind of struggles a little bit. But with Jock Madden, it seems like the game plan of hitting those 3 defenders constantly, it was massive. It was absolutely massive. In regards to Fainu boys, like now they've walked it back a little bit. So there was initial talks around $1.2 million deals. Then I think it came out that no, that was about keeping Fainu and his brother, so it was a together deal. Are we surprised they haven't locked him up, especially when his brothers are assigned to the club till 28?
Yeah, I thought it would have been done by now, especially with, there's been noise around that for weeks, if not months, hasn't there?
It's been a while, but what's surprised, you hear out of the Tigers that the Fainu are Benji guys. They're Benji guys. And so that's what I'm a bit surprised it hasn't been done yet, because surely the Tigers are at least offering him around the $750 mark contract, which I think is probably a fair price for Fainu with where he's at in his career. Can he grow into a higher paid edge back rower? Absolutely. He's a gun. But right now with what he's done, I think around $750 is a good price.
Is that concerning for you?
Yeah, it would have been nice to have it done a little bit earlier, but given all the chaos and stuff we've had this year, at least he hasn't announced that he's leaving at this point is probably where I would get to with it. So still a little bit of hope there, but we'll
that
see.
is a damaged man.
Yeah. Damaged man. But I thought he was outstanding yesterday. Just the skill set to punch through the DCE tackles and then the offload. Did they move Sam Walker across to that side at one stage? Because I swear I saw Fainu getting tackled by DCE once, and then he was getting tackled by Sam Walker later on. Anyway, He just terrorised that edge. He totally terrorised that edge. Had in regards to his stats, he had where is it? Okay.
16 runs.
16 runs, 120 metres, 58 post contact, a tackle break, a line break assist, 1 offload, 36 tackles, only 2 misses, 0 errors. But yeah, he just terrorised him, and really a lot of the quick play the balls that he got was off his runs.
I thought Paddy Herbert was really good. I think he's had a good 2 weeks there.
Yep.
Patrick Herbert. I believe he was essentially on a construction site.
Yeah.
At the start of the year, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
To a couple of really good offloads or quick passes as well, good tap-ons.
Yeah, he's had a really good 2 weeks. And I don't know. I'm still in team Jarrell Skelton. I would like to see him just play more consistent first grade. I know he's not the perfect product, but I mean, when you're looking at the guy, like this constant fucking merry-go-round of backline players they have there at the Tigers, I would love to see Herbert and Skelton just given an opportunity on that edge to stay there.
Someone at least.
I've got to go shout out to Junior Tupou. I thought he was great yesterday as well. He's obviously, been at the club before, but, got tested a lot under the high ball. Dream was good under the high ball as well.
I thought Dream was really gutsy this game. I thought it was really tough because they tested him a lot.
He hit the, he just had a lot more, got involved a little bit more. His numbers aren't going to blow you away, 141 run meters, but geez, I thought he got through a couple of times, very quick, good support play.
And a couple of crucial bombs too. When the game was on the line, they bombed to him and he managed to catch them.
He did a great job. The other player, Solomon Sakuru, he's had a great start to his first grade career, 3 tries in 2 games. Doesn't look out of place at all. Good support play to score his try. I'm hopeful we can keep a hold of him.
Has anything happened there?
Nothing I've heard as yet.
That's the thing that sucks. Is like, security plays great. He's not re-signed. Or like at least there's whispers that maybe they were going to let him go. You got Fainu. He's not re-signed, but he was incredible. I mean, what are your thoughts on the Fainu? Like, what happens there? Do you believe that?
I think I think he will re-sign.
You think he'll re-sign?
I think he'll get a very good wicket. I'm expecting that to happen.
What do you reckon in the cost will be though? How much are we talking?
I reckon it'll be $950.
I don't like that. What do you reckon?
What do you think though? Do you think
I hope they are strong and they say, $750. Maybe you put some clauses in. If you play Origin, we can jump you up to $9 or something like that. But
there'll be clauses.
Yeah.
No, there'll be clauses.
Well, not negative clauses, positive clauses for the club. Like, okay, if you feel you're at that tier, we'll give you clauses that if you hit that tier, you get the money that you're worth. But until then, here's your $750. This is where you're at. Can you give and take a little bit?
Performance-based clauses, not exit clauses.
Exit clauses. No exit clauses.
Yeah.
But how do you feel? Do you think you'll re-sign him?
Yeah, I'm definitely hopeful that he will. I don't think we'll get him for $750. Unfortunately, I think you got to pay a bit of a Tigers tax to keep some of these guys. So might be a little bit more than that. But he's someone they obviously think really highly of at the club. Bit of chat about him being a future skipper and all that sort of stuff. So it would be great to keep him. Hopefully we can.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I hope you guys do keep him. I think you will have to pay overs for him. I got to say, I love Tigers fans, and especially the Tigers fans that are creators. I think they're probably the best at it.
No, they're not.
Go Tigers.
I don't know why you had to pick this week to have your first win in a very long time against us.
Beat you and above you.
I know.
Spiritual spoon.
Yeah, rattling.
Moral spooners.
Like if the people gave a spoon, it'd be to the Tigers. Let's be real here.
Like the players play for spoons sort of thing.
Pretty much. If the people voted, Tigers get the spoon.
I think they'd probably get to the Broncos given they had the worst premiership defence in the NRL era.
Current reigning premiers.
I think you got
Just
way more of a
absolutely
case
towed
now.
up the Raiders.
You got way more of a case now thanks to us letting you win.
Thank you. Go Tigers.
Yeah, rattling. I'm hoping that I'm going to take the approach for the Roosters of probably good to have one before finals and sort of really sharpen up. And, yeah.
So the allegation that you're pretenders, what do you say to that? I didn't make the allegation. I'm just saying that.
No. You're just passing it on. I really appreciate that, man. I think the win against Penrith and the year we've had, I was so confident before this week, and obviously it's easy to fall back into old habits of feeling like fuck. But I'm going to lean towards the side of I think we've put enough runs on the board this year. I'm still more hopeful this year than I was last year. I'll put it that way. What do you guys think?
I know I've got a different topic I want to talk about, so finish this off.
What?
Well, I've got to quickly talk about the NordVPN Defence Player of the Week. It's the Tigers' defence. It's a Tigers' defence. It was incredible. The NordVPN Defence Player of the Week. It's back for 26. I was overseas before the season started. Used NordVPN, sporting events, TV shows, you name it. I watched it like I was back home. Another great feature is that you can switch your virtual location to so many different places in the world. This allows you to save money by purchasing flights, hotels, subscriptions from other countries at a cheaper price. It's also super safe. NordVPN provides you with privacy online, leaving no digital footprint. By hiding your IP address, it's like wearing an invisibility cloak online. To get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, go to the link in the description. Our link will also give you 4 extra months on the 2-year plan, and there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The link is in the podcast description box. Let's get into it. It's a NordVPN Defense Player of the Week. Is it Tigers? What were you going to say, Roo?
Elephant in the room.
For who?
Tigers. Good win. No Adam Dewey.
I didn't want to say it because he would have said it was a spite take. But I did say
I
it
don't
via
get
text.
defensive and weird about that sort of stuff. Just I'm happy to unpack it.
Okay. I
How
sent,
do you unpack it? Well, what do you
how Adam do you unpack it?
Yeah, good question. Good
How
question.
do we unpack it? Is what you mean.
Look, I did send that text to the group that it was hilarious that they played incredible without the guy that did. It's so fucking Tigers, man. It's weird. It's not nothing.
He would have played
Sure
front
as
row,
shit, not nothing.
It's not nothing.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, I think the whole thing was like traditional number 7 coming back in made us look a lot more threatening. And you rewind to round 4, went over to New Zealand, 13 plus the Warriors. No other team's done that this year. He was playing number 6 and Jock was playing number 7. So
But that was before all the dramas, though.
I know, but it just makes you think, you know.
Same, yeah, proves your point though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the way they got to look for 2027.
Well, he did say he'd play front row too, so that's nice to know.
He
In the
did,
back
and
pocket.
it's not 13, it's 6 at least. So,
But he would play front row though, so you know that.
well, that was really reassuring to hear.
That's
so,
exciting.
Yeah.
Look, it probably is a coincidence. I want to be clear. It probably is a coincidence, but it's strange they got that far up. But when they're missing their key man, he's supposed to be their main guy.
Yep.
Like that looked like a different side than the last 2 weeks.
Yes, it did. It played with energy. It played, yeah.
So I don't know. And yeah, fuck, it's weird. The whole thing is strange. I don't know. I don't think that is. I think that's evidence that it's not put to bed, this whole situation.
No, and I mean, like they play the Cowboys this week, who are a good footy side, don't get me wrong, but they're sure as shit beatable.
Oh, they're definitely beatable.
It'll be interesting to see if they win a couple of games on the road here to finish the
Yeah,
season.
like if they go and get beaten by the Cowboys and play like they have the last few months, you go, okay, it's just a one-off. The club was on the line. The boys are getting up for it. If they go on and play really well the back end of the year, the last couple of games, like that's where you just go, shit, like what's doing? But anyway, Roosters, I'm okay. I'm all right. Like they just, look, and this is going to sound super harsh or maybe a bit extreme, they've disrespected the moment. And what I mean by that is that there is a premiership to be won here. It is truly like the Panthers are looking a bit scratchy at times over the last 10 weeks. The Warriors are down to their 4th halfback. There is a premiership to be won here. And the moment is here. Regardless of who we play, we can be ruthless as anything. I understand they're on a 9-game winning streak? So maybe that's, I don't like going into finals footy with such a long streak. I hate that because you're almost waiting for that loss. But to lose, you want to lose against a Dolphins or something, not a Tigers. So that's a little bit concerning, but I'm still they are premiership threats for me.
I think the thing that just compounds it is the way the rest of the weekend played out in that they went from 1st to 3rd. They went from potentially out of that home final sort of range there, which makes it tough. But yeah, I think they've shown enough over the last 6 weeks that a loss like this isn't the end of the world to me. They need to bounce back this week.
Yep.
And it's going to be an interesting one. The Dolphins going head to head there.
It's going to be a cracking
It's
match.
going to be an unbelievable match. So yeah, they need to bounce back, but just some of the errors they had yesterday. Fuck, it's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's just like if you just held the ball and bloody rolled down the field, you'd win every game.
Just hold the football. And I'll tell you the other thing that did annoy me with the Roosters yesterday, and they did it in the second half and shocked me they scored points. That Tigers left edge has been in serious curry the last few weeks. And I feel like Toya and Mark didn't get the ball until the second half.
Well, until they needed to score points, and then all of a
Then
sudden,
they just threw it to them and heaps of points came.
yeah, it was bizarre. You got like arguably outside of maybe the Dolphins, the best right edge in the comp.
Mate, I agree with you, Hammy. You said before Junior Tupu did really well. Mate, Junior Tupu wouldn't have slept during the week knowing he was going up against Mark and Toya, and they just didn't test him.
No. I don't. It just seems to me like they thought they were going to just plow through this game onto next week because I think they didn't handle the moment. They had such a good opportunity to send a a resounding, ruthless message to the whole comp.
Yeah.
And all they've done is put a chink in their armor for teams to go, okay, maybe you're not who we thought you were a few weeks ago at 84-0. I still think they're premiership threats, but it still is a chink in the armor.
They've got the footy to be a premiership threat still. There's no doubt about that. But the fact that you go from having, like I agree with the whole thing of a loss before finals isn't the worst thing in the world, all jokes aside. But when you're playing the Dolphins and then Souths,
Yeah.
every chance that could be one of them.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, they could go 3 losses into finals.
They could. And
Yeah.
the other swing though too, like, you go from having a home final probably against the Dolphins or the Sharks at Allianz to you're either going to have to go to Penrith, who like they've been doing this shit for half a decade now, or you're going to New Zealand. Like, it's such a big swing for a game that there's no world you should ever lose it.
So if they lose their next 2 games, the Sharks could jump them
Yeah.
because they have a better points differential and they're sitting on 14 wins.
Sharks have 2 games. They should win.
And that means Dolphins beat the Roosters, which means put them in the top 4. There's a world where they end up 5th.
Which would be so edge.
And could you imagine if they lose to the Dolphins this week and South Sydney have a chance to make them miss the 8?
It's a grand final.
You are going to get grand final South Sydney.
Like Latrell will go out there in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
South could play Roosters 2 weeks in a row too.
They probably will if that's the game.
Yeah.
And Wayne Bennett will be just like...
But they almost definitely will because if South wins, they'll probably go to... Yeah, that's probably what will happen, right?
Yeah.
That'll be mad.
Like, honestly, it'll be one of the strangest like highs to like what the fuck just happened I've seen in a long time. If this all happens. Problem is it's not like they've got an easy draw. They've got Dolphins.
Yep.
Premiership heavyweights as well.
Who are playing for a top 4 finish.
So that's where, like, if you're Trent Robinson, I know he was like, oh, it's all about learning lessons or whatever, but it's like, surely if you want to drop a game, let's drop the Dolphins game or something, or not the Tigers one.
Yeah. Well, you got 3 really tough games in a row regardless, obviously being the next 2 rounds and the first week of finals. We need to win at least one of the next 2 to make sure that, we're playing in week 1 for a week off.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's a big swing to drop this game. So, yeah,
Huge.
it's disappointing.
I'll tell you, like, off the back of that result, you might end up with round 27, not a single team can rest players or anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, right now, if they win that game, you guys are locked into the top 4, aren't you?
Yep.
You're on top of the table, actually.
Well, you're locked in for a home final if you would have won that game, I think.
Yeah.
Jeez, that must be frustrating for fucking Trent Robinson. I know he put a good face on it, but my God. In regards to some of these, I guess, players before we finish, guys, who do you think played well, played poorly?
I thought Mark was a real handful towards the end. He nearly almost off his own bat got him across the line. There was a contentious, we spoke about it before, but the put down.
He literally just like steamrolled 3 blokes.
He did, and then he threw the flick pass, put Sammy Walker over. He was amazing at the end of the game, to be honest with you.
That flick was off its head.
Yeah. that was
No,
a
it's
good
not
try.
in his top 15 best players, but fuck.
Yeah.
Honestly, when it comes to a highlight reel, it might be the greatest 2 seasons we've ever seen in our lives.
It probably will be. Like
fucking hell, bro.
Yeah.
The shit this guy's done. In regards to, look, I saw a lot of negative talk about Nafahu White. I get it. He threw the offload. Mate, the bloke freaking ran for 200 metres, 83 post contact.
As per.
Like, you can forgive this bloke for throwing one silly offload at one stage in his whole bloody so far career. He absolutely wasn't the problem.
Thought Sammy Walker really came to life in the second half.
Yep, I thought Cody Ramsey had a bloody good game. Just weird. Like, they had so much field position, they just couldn't score. They just. I honestly feel like it was simple as if you can just get some decent ball to Rob Toyer and Mark Norgan to Tuasa, you're going to win this game, and they just didn't.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was watching them, they were you could almost tell they were thinking, yeah, we'll run these guys down. It'll happen, no stress. Just didn't. Okay. Anything else, boys? No.
Nope.
No.
All right, let's face a bit of music. Let's put our tips in for this coming week.
Let's do it. Round 26. We kick off with a 2025 grand final rematch. Brisbane Broncos, $1.85, host the Storm, $2. The line is 1.5 points.
I'll go Golden Point.
Okay.
Clip farming.
Interesting. It is clip farming.
How much
but
is it paying?
Don't know. It's usually about
It's 13.
about 13, do you reckon?
But it was 13.
Sorry, can you do that? Don't you have to tip the Broncos? Remember this whole bullshit fucking rule?
Yeah,
you made?
that's a good point, actually.
Okay, fair enough. That's all right.
Point
It's
well
okay.
made.
I stick to the rules, mate. I'll just go Broncos head to head, please.
$1.85.
Melbourne with the 1.5.
Yep.
Golden Point.
That is fucked. I swear to
Well
God,
played.
it's Golden Point. I swear to fucking God.
Matty's taking the Broncos head-to-head $1.85.
It's fucking so fucked.
I'll take the Storm $2. Then we head to the game that we will be at 6 p.m. Friday.
puts you in front. Oh, fuck, that'd be
Lol.
Oh, it's gotta be $13, eh?
Content.
Lol. All right, Manly $1.40. They host the Dragons $2.97.
Fucking spite bet if I ever seen it, you piece of shit.
7.5 points is the line on Friday.
I'll go Manly 13 plus.
2.35.
Yeah, our Seagulls 13 plus.
Yep.
Dragons 1 to 12.
$4. Maddie has gone Manly minus 7.5. I will go Manly minus 7.5 as well. Then we go to Friday, 8 p.m. Panthers $1.34 host the Dogs, $3.27. 8.5 points is the line on Friday.
Okay, I'll go Panthers 1 to 12.
2.85.
Panthers minus 8.5.
Yep.
Panthers 8.5. Yeah.
Yep. Maddie's gone the Panthers minus 8.5 as well. I will go Panthers 1 to 12, $2.85. Titans, $3.05. They host the Rabbitohs, $1.38. 8.5 is the line up there at the Gold Coast on Saturday, Arvo.
I'm gonna go Titans head to head.
$3.05.
Bunnies 13 plus.
2.25.
Yeah, Bunnies 13 plus.
Maddie's gone Bunnies 13 plus as well. I'll go Bunnies minus 8.5. The Roosters, $1.56. They host the Dolphins, $2.45. 4.5 is the line on Saturday afternoon. Geez, a good game this.
I'll just go Roosters head to head.
$1.56.
Dolphins head to head.
2.45.
Roosters 13 plus.
$2.80. Maddie has gone the Dolphins 13 plus, $5.80. I will go the Roosters 1 to 12 for $3. Then we go up to North Queensland. Cowboys $1.28 host the Tigers, $3.73, 12.5 points.
I'll just, oh, God. I'll go, what's the points?
12.5.
Oh, fuck. Jeez. This is a tough one. Let's go Cowboys head to head.
$1.28. Brave stuff. Brave stuff.
Fuck. Give me Tigers 1 to 12.
$5.
Tigers head to head.
$3.73. Maddie has taken the Tigers 13 plus at $11, which I really like. So much so that I will join him. Tigers 13 plus, $11. Sunday, the Warriors, $1.40. They host the Knights, $2.96. 7.5 is the line.
I'll go the Warriors 1 to 12.
$2.90.
Yeah, same wise 1 to 12.
Yep.
Newcastle line.
Yep. Maddie's gone the Warriors head to head for $1.40. I'll take the Warriors minus 7.5 to bring us home. The Eels, $2.80. They host the Sharks, $1.44. 6.5 points is the line on Sunday afternoon.
I'll go Sharks head to head.
$1.44.
Eels 1 to 12.
$3.90.
Eels head to head.
Yep, $2.80. Maddie's gone the Sharks minus 6.5. I'll take the Sharks 13 plus at $2.45. And I will see you on Friday.
All righty, we'll see you on the hill on Friday. We'll all go fuck ourselves. Thank you.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.